Oh, it's good to be back. Hello, and welcome back to Esports Arena, your regularly scheduled program. I'm excited for the competition we got coming up here. I'm Shyway. It's again great to have my man Tony.
We have some great action today.
16 is his KD right now. So we do
some information on that player. Finally finds him hiding in the corner, ends up getting the double melee. Luckily, JK putting his body on the line. Gold Star
resources, 37 and counting, making 38. It just seems like they're in their heads. Hello and welcome to Series E. It's exhibition night, Halo Friday. Just a quick and clean show today, and I can't wait to get into the action. Of course, I'm Shyway. I've got Garrett Tools with the casting today. Can't wait to cast with you, my dude. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute, Alex, and I'm ready to get into some action. We got some great teams today, and my favorite part, man, you know, these Series E tournaments, these invitationals, we got best of fives all the way through. We got great teams ready to compete today.
In case you're not aware, we've got our format on screen. So very simple show today. Just 4 teams invited, single elimination bracket. You got one chance in a best-of-5 series to really make an impact. If you're out, you're out. That's it. If you win, you get $500 in your pocket. So pretty straightforward. Bring your A game, and, you know, in the end of the day, we just get good quality Halo, Garrett.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, who can hate on winner-take-all single elimination? You just have to win 2 games today, $500 in the pocket. Nothing easier than that. And we have some incredible teams out here today. And I heard that, you know, you guys can go and do a little bit of fantasy if you pick your player. I wanted to pick your brain on this, Shyway. If you had to pick a player who's going to get the most kills today, who would it be? And, you know, everyone at home, you can go check out the fantasy on Twitter as well and make your predictions. But who do you think is going to be taking home that prize today, Alex?
Right. Okay. Well, now you put me on the spot. I got the cogs are turning. You know what? The first one, we talked about it kind of coming in to the show today, Piggy, and how he can be very hot and maybe a little bit cold sometimes too. But when he's hot, when he's on, he is kind of stealing the spotlight. So I'm gonna take a guess. I'll say Piggy is our kill leader today. Let's see what he can put together. And what do you think, Garrett?
I was going to say great minds think alike. I have Piggy already put him on Twitter. I'm putting it in. That being said, if I was going to be a realistic man, you have to look over at that Oxygen roster, right? And be looking at that. And I got my eyes on Triton over there. Triton has been phenomenal the last couple months at Halo. It was surprising when he departed away from Complexity. He looked like a superstar on that team. And, well, he's gone to Oxygen. This Oxygen team has just been brought to life ever since adding him to this roster because they were down in the dumps, and now they're on the up and up.
And I can't wait to see what they put together today. But like Garrett said, this is a little competition, basically. You have an opportunity to predict who you think will be the kill leader. And if you get it right, you get a mystery prize. We're not sure what it is, but it could be pretty damn nice. So get your little prediction up. You can do it through either, I believe, Twitter or Twitch. And just a great way to get engaged and also just enjoy the Halo action today. Of course, the big reason why we do this stuff, I think, you know, just to kind of celebrate or give, I guess, ESA Red and Blue their opportunity to get some reps in. Notice how I said celebrate as well, Garrett, because we have a celebration today. There's a little birthday on Oxygen as well. We got Common's birthday today.
Dude, he looks so happy. That's crazy. They got the best picture, bro, dude. That is a happy Chris Common right there. Happy birthday to C. Hopefully he can take home a little bit of some spending cash today by winning today's tournament. You know, hey, you know, Chris Common, birthday boy, maybe it's about time to go and put him as your fantasy prediction this week as well, because we all know Chris Common, he can pop off when needed.
He definitely can, and, you know, hopefully the birthday brings that energy. My only worry, Garrett, if I think of myself and how I celebrate my birthdays, I may or may not be sober at the moment. You know, I'm having a good time. It's my birthday, so I don't know what that means for his gameplay. Of course, we expect him to be cracked, but let's see how it goes. Understandably, the man, you know, I'm assuming he's been having a good day today. Either way, here's an opportunity for him to get, you know, at 500 extra bucks, I guess, on top of that in our first best of 5 series. Of course, we won't see him just yet, though. Our first series is ESA Red up against Minions. We got our series layout on screen here as well, Garrett. Do you like what you see?
Yeah, I love what I see. You know, if you're Chris Common, you got a best of 5 to sober up, so get some water and you get yourself ready. You know, you can't start with a better first 3 games, right? Our guaranteed CTF Aquarius, I think that's a fan favorite of Halo Infinite thus far. Fast-paced flag gameplay. Slayer on Streets has the rockets, has the goodies, everything you could possibly want, and then you round out the first 3 games with the sniper. So, you know, perfect start to the game, and then the X factors, game 4, game 5. We'll talk about them if we need to get into them. But ESA Red has been playing a lot better recently. They've been taking games off pro teams pretty consistently now. I think this is probably their best week to come out and say, hey, look at us. We're here to fight. I'd love to see Too Nice and the crew get the job done today.
Right, and I think the biggest thing that I've noticed with the roster is the fact that this is the OG ESA Red roster as far as I can tell, right? That's Nexi, Too Nice, Ixchana, and Ampium. I've definitely seen this team together, so the reps in, I think, is a big part of this, especially considering their competitors, Minions, which is a roster I've never seen together before, Gary. You got Aperture, Piggy, Nebula, and Tony. I want to say 4 players who are kind of caught in the middle of roster mania right now, right? Just trying to find where they fit, and, maybe together is the play.
Yeah, it's so interesting to see these 4 playing with each other because I don't think many would have this roster building in their mind. But Tony, he's been all around the place, and I think it's crazy. Tony went from getting the breakout player at Kansas City to suddenly finding himself in need of a roster, a massive talent there who's been searching around. Piggy, from all reports, he wanted released off that Luminosity roster. He got his wish to come true. Has been looking around, and whenever he performs in these esports arena tournaments, he's always looking good.
I completely agree. That's the thing with Piggy too, is I feel like his come up was very brief, right? Like he kind of entered in the scene towards the end of Halo 5. I want to say maybe 6 to 8 months before Halo 5 was kind of done and dusted. We were on to Infinite, and he found his footing very early on here, only to then end up, I guess, like you said, temporarily on LG. Curious to see where he goes. Aperture and Nebula. Nebula is a player we've seen around since, I want to say, kind of the beginning of competitive Halo 5, just in and out of some very high-level teams. Hasn't quite, I guess, found his space yet in Infinite. What do you think of these other 2, Garrett?
That's the thing. It's like Nebula, I think, had a lot of high expectations coming for him when he first announced, with what he was doing at the end of Halo 5. I don't think he's had, the start to the game that he wants, but we know the talent's there. It's just a matter of time before it performs. And Aperture has just been a true X factor, man. I'm so interested to see where he goes. Hey, sometimes the good things have to wait. We'll get back into the action when we can. And I believe this ESA Red also, their coach getting added to the esports arena roster, Coach Mike and Ike, Coach Clutch getting out there. Brand new sponsor, brand new coach. I love Coach Clutch. We got to meet him at ForceCon. We did. And he's a really fun guy.
He's a good guy, and it's good to have a coach coming into the fold because we don't really talk enough about coaches, and I think, and their impact that they can have on these Halo teams. I mean, obviously every Halo team has a coach. One of the big kind of unique factors about Halo that separates it from other games is the fact that the coach is heavily involved in the comms. I mean, as much as he wants to be, basically. That's kind of the flexibility in that you've got a coach maybe like Callus, let's say, who's kind of like not just, adding to the callouts, but there's little, almost playmaking that comes into it, or somebody like, let's say, Hoaxer or Alumnite, who I want to say hypes his team up mid-game, right? He knows the right things to say to get you kind of in your zone.
Yeah, it's a true fifth man can make a huge difference. And I think it's interesting because we've seen the rise of coaches that aren't necessarily pro players anymore. Like you said, Callus getting brought up. Yeah. Mikrin as well as another great one, a former coach of an ESA team as well. Coach Clutch. Like, these are not players that necessarily have the pro experience like you expect out of like a Hoaxer, an Alumni, a Lunchbox that we're seeing all the time, but they bring a different factor, right? They specialize themselves to coaching, and you have to really lean on those guys to be on top of everything. I know how much effort some of these coaches put into their game to make sure that times are never wrong, that they know what everyone on their team needs to hear, how to hype up their players. It's so important what a coach can bring to your team.
Completely agree. And I think that might be, well, I mean, we'll find out in a second, but I want to say that's like the secret sauce for ESA Red, because there's a lot of different situations where it does feel like they've got a grip on the game. Things are in their favor, but, they might slip out of control towards the end. They can't quite figure out a way to bounce back, especially against some of these top teams that we've seen in previous exhibitions. Maybe having a coach in those situations to say the right things or unify you and, get the game plan going when it's not looking so good, when your timings are off. Hopefully that is, like I said, like the secret sauce or something that can kind of bring them together and give us a show here, right? Once again, ESA Red, ESA Blue, you want to see them kind of punch through these opportunities, because the last time we had an ESA roster, I believe they ended up Oh, did they become LG? I think at one point, right? We had like a brief, and then they got poached, I think.
Yeah.
By LG, like weeks later. So that's kind of the beauty of these ESA events, right? Is the spotlight that it puts on these players to maybe get picked up by somebody bigger.
Yeah, it's the last two ESA teams went on to do like phenomenal things.
Yeah.
Like you said, they got poached by LG. Was it Luminosity that poached? Well, either way, then
I think. Hopefully, I'm right on that one.
Well, I know that like EMGG, so like Furiously, and them went and like finished top 16.
Team, yeah.
Yeah, and then you had the other one, which was with Collect and Collect and Ram. Got poached. That whole team was
they're all over the place,
dissected. But it just shows you that like so much talent can be on one team, and they won't necessarily stay together, but they got a way to showcase their talent, find their way to different teams, and that's a way to start off our gameplay right there. Oh, what a smack. Too Nice is a player I'm really looking out for in this game. I think last Friday he made some really impactful plays. The camouflage, a big part of that equation. I'd like to see him keep up the momentum.
Unfortunately, the momentum will end there. Nice kill, though. Hopefully, it gives an opening for the team. They are pushing up through pink side. Piggy up on top mid. Does spot a couple overextending. Always something to be aware of, but it looks like they are going to cut their losses. Go straight to flag. About to be a brawl here, too. Nebula's already picked up 3. Apparently, man with a triple. That's a flag out. It looks like Stan paired on the last one up to try to slow it down. And so far, not as intended, I guess.
Now that flag out and ready to go. Guys, you have until the end of this series to get your fantasy pick'ems in. Whoever you think is going to finish with the most kills by the end of today's tournaments, make sure you get them in. But can we see back-to-back triples? My God, it's multi-kill day. Stan gonna steal the overkill, but oh my, we're seeing multi after multi today.
What did you say? Something about show off their talents or whatever right as we came into the game. So
hey, show them off,
I think somebody
baby.
heard you. Yeah, immediately we get multiple triples, double kill. Stan about to do it again. Here's a double. Looking for a triple of his own. Will he secure it? Just nicking the toes of the man. Can't quite get the kill. Isn't enough to keep him back, though. You can see that player did die. Ampium on top of the flag. He's going to hand it off. That's straight through utility. They might have a chance here, Garrett.
I love this. Ampium, if he can get himself past that 50-yard line, they're going to be in a great spot. Tony, he takes down 2, though, and that's going to shut Ampium's run down just for a second, as he's going to have to wait for his teammates to get back into his position. But the heat wave, so important in that bottom spot, right? Look how he was able to use the flag as a gravitational force and find kill after kill. Massive plays from Ampium. He starts off with that triple kill and now using that flag masterfully to get more, and a first flag on board for ESA Red.
What a brawl there out of Ampium. Well-earned flag because of it. I'm wondering what happened to that camo in the meantime, though, right? ESA Red, they put all their resources on that flag. I think they may have given it up, but it looks like the impact hasn't hurt them too badly here. Just playing defense, of course, so important. Next, no real opportunity to move. The moment he does, he's getting melted, unfortunately. There he goes. Stan going to drop as well. That's going to thin out the numbers, maybe give Ampium, well, I mean, he's the one on defense at this point. You can see minions on the move for the flag. Uh-oh.
It's going to be a big capture for the minions if they can come back with a quick response. Exactly what you're looking for, but is it Too Nice that's in the very back right now who's trying to cause some havoc? It's just not going to be enough. Nebula with the simple pick, and the more are pushing, but Nebula's ready for the fight. Ooh, tough looks right there. Looks like that flag's going to get returned, and counter into counter maybe, as Ampium already had that flag far away, 50-yard line. This is these next sets of kills are going to be some of the more important ones in the game.
Definitely got to give some credit to Ampium and Too Nice to slow that down and give the team an opportunity to get that flag through, give us a standoff. Maybe he can do a little more. You'll see the player drop the flag as he go for a bit of a return, bit of a bait here as well. You know he's going to come back, and the shields are ready for it. There's the melee for the kill. 2 dead, too. And an immediate reset on the flag. And look at what Tony's doing on the opposite side of the map here. If he earns this return, that is massive, but a stick will take him down instead. The teammate there to pick it up, though, and it looks like minions have not only pulled off a flag. Aperture's still in the base, looking for more here.
Well, that flag definitely earned by Nebula and the play that he made when he was milking himself in that back base, right? Staying alive and using time as a factor to get a kill, right? Making that player double guess which way he was going to come from. Eventually chooses the correct side, gets the easy kill, and then the return eventually comes through. Big plays from Nebula early in this game.
honestly such an important point that you're making in just waiting and the power of waiting in Halo. You know what I mean? Like just that extra fraction of a second and how that can mess with somebody's confidence or timing or expectations. No waiting on this gameplay, though, that's for sure. Aperture going to take that flag directly to the pedestal. So Minions, I mean, on top of the counter that they earned, they're just snowballing at this point, Garrett. They're carrying 2 here.
Yeah, you can just see the kill column. It's going to quickly get out of hand. Piggy just got the camouflage. Everything's going right for the Minions. And you can see ESA Red just had to completely leave their base. And if these next kills go into the favor of Minions, it'll be a flag capture. But it was up to Stan Paradigm to make a play, and he did just that, getting 2 for his team, giving some much needed space and showing how critical it is to find spacing on the map. My God, Stan is on something different today, man. The perfect kill with the pistol.
I think it's safe to say they can't stand this man currently. Just going to lock things
So
down
bad.
from what? Shut up. Top car is the flag, though. You can see this coverage is absolutely important in this situation as he's going to run forward to pick up the flag and carry it himself. Let me do my thing.
Yo, look at that pistol, man. That diamond encrusted pistol.
Very nice.
Someone got their drop.
How much does it cost? How much does it cost?
I think that was just a drop, right? If you watch Valencia,
Oh,
you
you're right.
got,
That was the Valencia drop. That was. Good call.
Hey, so, you know, watching some EU Halo, maybe translating some of that to the page. You can see ESA Red has consistently been funneled out towards those P-spawns, and the really only option has been to flood to P2. And you can see how that player just cannot work out that situation. An easy kill as Minions gets the flag away. And although Aperture's last alive, and they're giving up the camouflage, he's been able to get some spacing on that flag, and hopefully Minions can spawn up fast enough to try to get some pressure towards this flag, but doesn't look like he was able to buy enough time.
I do like this play at ESA Red, though. They're not immediately going for return. They're going to worry about that later. Instead, use their numbers to apply pressure on Minions, keep them back on spawn, limit their options. You can see the results here. Piggy now dead. Ampium just putting the camo to work here. Somebody needs to pick up this flag, get it out of the base while they have time. You can see 2 dead on the feed as well. Somebody, did he split spawn in the util? What a bait! It's Aperture with a double kill to completely stop that run in its tracks.
And it just shows you how important it is to find a split on the map. If you're able to find yourself into a perimeter away from your team without the other team expecting it, you can make big plays. You can find spots on the map, the soft underbelly of the opposing team, and get easy kills and stop pushes in their tracks. Now, Nebula needs to find a response right here, and I love that he has the heat wave. If he can find a first open couple picks, he's in a great position to immediately pull a flag and have some great timing.
Man's in trouble. Just going to hold on well he can. You know he's looking to hit a curve slide in just a second to get that flag out. If he needs to, I guess he's going to opt to play defense one more time. Going to be a whole new round of slays they'll have to get. He's on top of 2 of them. Can he at least take 1? He cannot stand Paradigm with a double on the feed there. He'll take 2. Tony will drop him. Tony looking for more. That's a double just to answer back. And you can see the flag pulled on the opposite side of the map while it happens. So Tony with a double dilemma here. Can he win a fight and take a flag? You'll get neither.
Tough looks right there. Not able to win that fight. And still, it's ESA Red who's just trying to find an answer. Every time that they've been able to push up, they've been shut down. The one thing I've noticed is that Minions hasn't really had much of a pushback when it comes to getting into the back base of ESA Red. And I think that's been the biggest difference maker in this game thus far. ESA Red is consistently having to search back, make sure that their base is under control. While you can see Minions, it's all just holding forward, being fast, being aggressive, and it could be leading to their 3rd flag cap.
Looking like it. Just a couple more links to take this flag through. Nobody in position to cross him either. 2 dead on the feed. Spawners up back in yellow base at this point. Nebula, by the time they spawn up, they're ready to shoot. You can see this man's already hot and heavy right in front of them out base. 2 players coming up through util to make this happen. Can they get the defense here once again? I think you mentioned it. Minions just the nuisance they've been in the back of the base. The amount of situations they've gotten out on top of. Nebula showing us why this keeps happening.
Oh, I was gonna say, I was wondering if Nebula was gonna make one of those patient plays again.
Right.
But instead of the timing just not gonna work out. And you know, that happens. It's unfortunate when it does. You gotta figure out a way to respond when you come off the respawn. Oh my God, those shock nades, man, they're just so filthy. You can start to see the damage being done as Nexi and the crew start to push forward. Minions all seeing the respawn screen. And although time is in short supply, ESA Red in a quick position to get some flag caps in and to get this game close to even.
ESA Red with an opportunity. All 4 players up here. Nexi, what can he do to help this run? Actually, Piggy does take an opening. Oh, Nebula with one as well. Leaves 2 alive. Amphium, he's got to be quick to move this flag, and the exact opposite is happening. Unfortunately, he does drop it. Stan fortunately spawns up back base. He'll collect it. Can he carry it to the pedestal, though? You can see the man is just anticipating gunfights, but the one place he doesn't check with the nade is where the enemy pops up. Can they get the return, though? Too nice. They're trying to double up. They're just not able to get to it. He needs, yeah, he can't quite do it in time. This is the story of this game, unfortunately, is they cannot lock it down.
That's a tough look. I mean, it all starts, it shows you how important it is to get those flag juggles down, right? That entire play starts by missing a flagpole for half a second, costing 2 seconds of time, but those 2 seconds of time getting them out of position, leading to an easy pick for the minions to get up forward on the map and be able to take control of the base, and it all cascades from there. Now only a minute and 30 seconds left. ESA Red's hopes of winning game 1 quickly fade away.
When I look at the scoreboard, it's not like it's a matter of slays that is contributing to this. It's really just that timing, making the most out of the openings that you get. It just seems like ESA Red just maybe a slight lack in efficiency when it matters most. They still have an opportunity, though, as I say it, it's kind of whittling away here. There goes 2 players in blue base. Nice coverage at an aperture. Just going to ensure they play defense, leave no chances for a comeback here.
Only a minute left. I think the biggest focus for everyone at home watching right now is who's going to be ending with the most kills in this game. Our solution right here, Piggy, 17 to 17. Just say it.
Quite a weird. Stan popped off. Nobody would have expected, I think, Stan Paradigm to pop off. Nice moves, by the way.
Speedster, yeah. Oh, everyone else gets an extra kill to put on the board. A little speedy move right there from Piggy. That's how you run flags right there.
Is there a flag time prediction? We should have put ourselves down for that with Piggy. Fastest flag run on Aquarius. We'll win that one.
They should do like the Olympics for Halo. Get the flags out. You have to run them. So like 100-meter dash with the flag.
That would be my playlist.
I think you would be sick at it. You know what I'm saying? You could be like the honorary representative for Canada.
For Canada, what is
hey, represent your country. Yeah,
Olympics, of Halo flag juggling. Okay, you know, maybe one day in the future, gaming becomes as big as I guess it's getting. We might, I think at one point we did sort of have that, right? Remember back in the beginning of Halo 5, X Games, gold medalists, EG, right? Like that was kind of a unique little opening that we had for Halo. Hopefully we get something like that in the future. Either way, what we will be getting at the very least is more of this series, Garrett. And so far, so good for Minions. Many opportunities, I think, for ESA Red. Just nothing quite came together.
Yeah, it's about the last phase of execution for ESA Red. It's the flag fumbles. It's the not being able to collapse completely on some spawn kills, letting players spawn out and having them play too much of an impact, not being able to control their base. If they're able to hold those factors down, start to clean it up a little bit, I think we see a much closer game, because when it comes to the slays, it really wasn't that uneven, especially with how Stan Paradigm was playing. I mean, that man was going on an absolute tear, just wasn't enough for his team to get the job done.
Now, I'm wondering if Stan can bring that energy for game 2, because little inefficiencies in CTF, have a compiling effect and obviously, led to the loss. In Streets, it's a lot more apparent, right? Like a little mistake that you make in Streets is a full 4 dead and a snowball into maybe 8 or 12 kills, right? So you need to make sure you're tight with your rotations, with your trades when you have the opportunities. What do you think coming into this one, Garrett, just based off of what we've seen?
Utility control is the first and foremost thing that needs to be on your mind, right? If you're a team coming out and controlling the Bulldog, controlling the Rockets, and controlling the Stalker Rifle, I call them the trifecta on this map. Those 3 weapons can absolutely make it. No, not the golden triangle. No, they do make a triangle on the map, though. How hype is that? It would be a right angle triangle. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, sorry. You said the Shoddy, Stalker, and the Rockets.
Yeah, it makes like a right angle triangle. It's like literally like a perfect right angle triangle. It is.
We're gonna pull up the top-down graphic and just start drawing like crop circles.
I'm just saying it makes a perfect right triangle. It's a 90-degree angle over there, but the trifecta, man, especially when you have players who have like precision aim, because I think we give a lot of love to the Bulldog and Rockets, but if you have a player with that just finite aim who knows how to hit their shots, that's where that Stalker rifle can be so deadly. But you can see Minions already getting the Stalker and the Rockets early on, but it's up to Aperture to stay alive.
Aperture almost living in that situation would have been nasty. Just the way that he hugged the wall in verticality in situations like that. I think the best thing you can do is just get right directly underneath your opponent, limit their options. Of course, if you're Ampium in this case, just stay up high. You know, use the sight lines to your advantage here.
Stalker so important on this map. It's a 3-shot kill, and even if they don't even have to have their shields broken, unlike the VR, if you can hit that headshot while they're weak, it often results in a kill. And he just has all the goodies in the back pocket. If he gets one more to go, and then, you know, Ampium off to a quick start in this game, 4-1 early on.
Big part of the reason why they do have that early momentum, as we say it, though. Unfortunately, Stan ripped the new one. Nexi, he'll take the trade, though. There's Tony and Aperture coming in with 2 of their own, so Nexi actually going to be left by his lonesome. Hopefully he can pick up one with the shotgun, just looking for a target. Does have thrust to be a nuisance. Almost comes out with a trade, and it would have been massive, but instead Aperture, he gets away with his life. A couple shotgun shells to work with. Not that he needs it in this case.
Hey, someone's a little cracked out today. After using the little drop weapon crack, hey, you know, I like it. Get your shotgun up just a hair bit faster. It can definitely make a difference in these fights, as he wants to get right up into this corner. And these two are going to be so important to work with each other in this fight. And what? Yo, hey, some netcode issues right there. You don't get them resolved.
See, for the record, wait, what am I? So Aperture just got the luck of the Irish right there. Like, he just won the lottery, because every time I do that, it never works. Like, they go the full lunge range of the thrust, and I get hit every time. It looks ridiculous, but I don't know how. Basically, I'm jealous is what I'm trying to say, Garrett. I'm very jealous right now.
Hey, what was so interesting about it was Aperture also got like a blank melee like sound on his screen. That was
it might have just been a blank melee is what might have happened.
It just is a weird observer glitch. That was just so interesting. But like you said, like when you thrust, traditionally it's like the game doesn't really care. It'll, oh my god. Sorry,
back thrusting is should not be your first habit most of the time in this game at the moment.
Yeah, it's more of like for your gunfights rather than getting away from melee range, because I think as long as you're within melee range as you start and you hit the thrust, it'll give them that range no matter what. So you'll see some players act as if they have the sword in their hands, but too nice putting that Stalker rifle to work, man. When you get a perfect kill with it, it's so satisfying, and having the shotgun in the back pocket, that's got to make you feel a little bit dirty, as we see a lag out for the Minions. So I think it'll probably be like a full reset. It was 21-22. Maybe. So we'll see what the decision is from our tournament admins, but we'll get back into the game as soon as we can.
I mean, you said it was a dirty combo. So dirty, it knocked someone out the game, apparently. And I wonder if that was the player who meleeed and got us on our whole tangent in the first place. Either way, like you said, we're going to find out shortly what exactly happened with that game. The biggest thing, I think, that coming out of that is just how close it was, though, and how back and forth it was, considering, what we had witnessed in the first game. I mean, the slays weren't very different in game one. It was more so just objective efficiency. It's good to see, that carry over well so far, at least, I think, for ESA Red.
Yeah, I mean, so far they've been keeping up blow for blow. I'm like watching the stream right now. I want to see who actually did lag out, so we can I want to see that prediction stream. So Aperture, Tony, and Piggy were the last ones in. So Nebula was
okay.
And
the update that I got was one player has to reset Xbox on Xbox. The man still is there a secret like?
It's a secret sauce, man.
Is Xbox the wave at some point here, Garrett? I don't know. Like I've got the Series X. I think it's well optimized for Infinite.
Red reticle, baby.
Pretty good, but the red reticle, maybe that's the case.
I'm telling you. I mean, if you're expecting to have to play in the open bracket, like I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing, because like you're getting yourself used to 120 hertz. Like that's what you're going to be playing on when you're at LAN. So I can see why someone would go for it, but also you want to be able to get as many pro points and win as many competitions as possible. And the way to do that, I mean, obviously be on PC, get those extra frames, get that extra advantage when you can.
Yeah, ideally. But like you said, some pros will play on PC, at least earlier on, I think, in Halo Infinite competitives. They play on PC, but lock it at 120 or somewhere around 120 just to kind of prep themselves for what the experience might be like on Xbox, like you said, for like the open bracket, like what they might have to play through before main stage. Looks like we did get an update, so it's not going to be perfectly even. Looks like ESA Red actually needs 48. Wait, no, sorry. Minions need 48, and ESA Red needs 50. So a 2-kill advantage. Thankfully, not too difficult for the maths for us. We'll be okay, but just 2 kills to work with here.
Yeah, tough look for ESA Red right there because like things were starting to go into their favor, right? You saw Too Nice with the stalker rifle and the shotgun in his hands, like starting to run through. So always a shame when the lag out seems to happen when you have everything going right. But they'll get back into this game as soon as possible, and it'll be interesting to see if they differ their starts at all. I've always been.
That's what I'm thinking.
You know what? Like the first reset, I keep it the same. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing the same route. The second reset, that's when you start playing mind games. But how about you? If you were a player, are you going straight to the same thing, or you differing it up a little bit?
I definitely just like I am a throw my head at the wall type of player where I'll do the same thing every time. And you might predict me, but I'm going to try to just do it slightly faster or slightly more accurately. To just it's probably not how I should be doing things, but sometimes I slip away and I get away with it and it works. That's generally my strat. What I've been noticing, though, just coming out of the C-spawn, at least in my matchmaking games, is avoiding that central doorway, like right out front. Like some players will just, barrel right out front, get the cross onto rockets, and because it just seems so free that you'd cross anyone fighting rockets. What other players have been doing is just kind of leaving the lane and focusing on pre-nades to stop the players at rockets. Instead, Aperture, though, it looks like he is going for this cross. And right as we can see, 3 kills off the start here. So Minions, whatever game plan they set in motion here, it's worked for them, Garrett.
Yeah, able to get all of the weapons into their hands. Tony has Stalker and rockets. I think they won the fight over at Shotgun as well. So this is about as disastrous as possible for ESA Red. Oh, is the free rocket gonna hit? Yeah, nice. Love to see it. Tony getting another one. And this is gonna be, ESA Red needs to quickly stabilize out of this position. They cannot let this get too far out of hand.
And the only way for that to happen is forcing trades in situations like this. Tony just making it so difficult to do exactly that. Look at this, just chasing him down in tires. We'll try to live up. Tony not gonna let him. You got Piggy there for coverage as well. It's just a 2-man team, and the entirety of Minions coming in to ensure that they can maybe win this team fight. Nice rotation out of ESA Red, though. They'll drop 2. Stand Paradigm going to come in, and we talked about it, stabilizing the situation early rather than later. It is 12 on the board, right? There's a 2-kill advantage, but 7 is not too shabby. It could be a lot worse here.
Now, that was actually a beautiful job by ESA Red in that back base to be able to stabilize it. It's really a masterclass in staying alive and the impact you can have. All of them were having their BRs in that fight, but they were careful to be behind cover, have quick outlets to get away from fights and to stay alive. And eventually, Minions got frustrated, overextended just a tad bit too far, and it was an immediate punish by ESA Red to get him 4 down.
Just push him to the brink, make him make mistakes. Let's see what Tony does. He barrels straight through center here. Gonna catch one with their pants down. Thankfully, that player has a thrust. Too Nice will come out with a trade in that situation. Staying alive, gonna be so crucial here. The rocket's about to spawn up. Piggy knows it. How does he deal with these lanes, though? Nice pop shots into one shotty. They'll drop him down. Nebula with an opening kill. Piggy, look at this, the space that he takes off that opening. He's created such an easy opportunity for Nebula, who now has, I believe, a triple.
Yeah, that's actually a beautiful play by Piggy, right? Like you said, creating space for the team. There's the concept of being that perimeter player and the job of just getting as much of the map for your team and setting up your middle players to get up some kills. And Piggy showing how essential it is for your team. And even though ESA Red was able to get it close at one point, it's Minions who start to run away with this game once again.
Here's where the rotation sets in, too. Tony just looking for stragglers. Looks like he does catch one. Can he outmaneuver this player, though? Nade coming in. Now he's in trouble. Gonna have to drop a nade of his own. Man, yeah, he'll get taken from the opposite side. Nexy, nice play, right? He's sitting on the planter. He knows he can curb slide into the opposite doorway just to trick him up with the timing. Comes out with a stalker because of it. And now we got ESA Red on the aggressive.
Well, maybe a little too aggressive. There's the concept of having outlets, having escapes from gunfights, and while there was just no escape in bottom middle, you could see Minions took immediate advantage, but the game's still tightening up quite a bit from this early game. but with Minions having themselves all up, it's going to be really important for them to find the straggler and get the kill. I mean, look how expanded on the map Minions are, and Nebula's taking immediate advantage. They had players all over. Like, they have someone in Cafe, PD, one at B. Like, they have so much control of the map.
They're playing it patient now, too. Let them come to them, essentially. Nebula just going to hold on to the perimeter while he does it. That extra 2 kills that Minions are holding on to looking real painful at this point, Garrett. What can Nebula do, though? With this fight going up against what looks like a rapid-fire BR here. Nebula just going to back off of it. Needs to stay up for the Rockets. You can see Piggy dealing with his own fight in the staircase. Nebula, can he take it, though? He cannot. I believe we have 3 dead as well when they need it, too. ESA Red, maybe an opening here.
Yeah, I just want to see maybe Minions not necessarily take the gas off the pedal, but play a little bit more patient on their angles. I think they're getting a little bit too confident in their gunfights. If they just let ESA come to them, I think they're going to have a way better chance in this game just to finish this cleanly with these Rockets. Ooh, wow, I can't believe that Rocket didn't get the kill. That was a big trade out, but we see 4 go down for Minions, and ESA Red have a great opportunity here to find some momentum in this game.
You talked about Minions giving them just a little bit too much leeway and what this might have created there. We'll see if ESA Red does the same thing, right? You can see a respect out of the team right here. They do not want to give up position, don't want to give up a free kill if they can't afford it here. Rockets in hand to do the damage instead. That's a big opening. Can they play off the damage, though? Already crossing up into Arcade. Gotta love the placement out of 2 Nice here. He knows exactly where to look. 2-man push up into C. If they get a clean round of Slays here, this is an opportunity to bring it back.
It's important. Look at this 2-man push. Oh, perfectly baiting each other. Oh, wow. They're getting right back in.
How is this man alive? He's picked up a stalker for his troubles, too. You can see his teammates getting ripped off the right-hand side, though. That's going to force 2 Nice to respect it, play it slow. I like that they're sticking together, though, holding hands here. 2 Nice they have to bait and switch his way out these nades. Too many coming in at this point. You'll have to dodge back here. Somehow Nexi comes out with a kill, though. Double team on the Nebula, too. He'll take a trade. But the scoreline's starting to even at this point, Garrett.
Yeah, I love what we've been seeing from ESA Red. It's a patient play, right? 2 Nice staying in the back and using his teammates as bait, but not in the bad way. You know, so often you hear, hey, my teammate was baiting me, but you want that in that situation. You want the other players to feel confident that they push forward, they can get the kill. And who else but 2 Nice lurking in the background, able to change his reticle to 3 different fights, getting involved in all of them, and coming out on top to make this game close.
Speaking about coming out on top, that's a Rocket on top of Piggy. And unfortunately, there he goes. 43. Technically, it's actually 45 to 41, but not unwinnable. ESA Red high ground in their favor. Rockets in their favor. PD spawn, not where you want to be when Stan's got a rocket launcher. Somehow does not get the kill. The shotty will come in for the trade, but that's not what you want in this situation.
It's just sometimes like those Rockets, you can never trust them to get the kills. It's always having the expectation that it's going to make them one shot, and you pulling out that BR for the finish. And while it's only 1 more for Minions to go, that Rocket might have been the doom. And yeah, there it is. Minions are able to, I'll say, survive that game because ESA Red started to heat up a ton towards the end.
And I think it might be kind of hard to know in that situation just how many players had spawned up in PD, because I feel like if he plays that a little bit more carefully and just pops the rocket into, like, obviously that rocket still probably should have got a 1 kill at the very least. But if he, you know, shot it into center floor, he would have gotten 2 no shields at the very least, maybe even killed 1 at the same time. And if he's not committed to the doorway, who knows what that could have done for a spawn slay and the snowball that could have come from that. And of course, that's going to come from the awareness of knowing that they're split spawning out in PD in that situation as well, which can be a little bit unpredictable at times, I think, with this map. Either way, it's just kind of unfortunate that it went the way that it did, Garrett.
Yeah, and I mean, ESA Red, they have to play a little bit better to start, right? You can't just be heating up at the end game and try to claw your way back in. It's about having a good start, and that's where I want to see the difference coming into Live Fire Strongholds, is I want to see them come out strong, win the opening fights, get the power weapons, and start to push trip cap coverage right away. When it came to that last game, Minions won everything off the start. They were able to get themselves a 7-8 kill cushion in the first opening minute, and it made all the difference in the end game.
Any chance you kept tabs on how many kills Piggy got?
I think he got 12. I think he went 12 and 8.
So he's not
second most Well, it was the second
second
most on the
most.
season. Yeah, it was like a.
All right, fair enough.
Well, no, it
We
wasn't
have high
more.
expectations right now.
Yeah.
Okay, if it's our prediction, I'm expecting the man to go ham. But maybe live fire.
Piggy,
They're winning
ham,
though, right?
dude,
Like, he's doing
you
his
gotta
job.
stop with that, man. What are you? You're just like,
What?
are you on the puns today?
What
You
pun?
said-
What was my pun today?
Oh, you said you expect Piggy to go ham.
Oh my! I didn't even notice, dude.
Yeah, dude. You're just too good. Too
I'm
goated.
actually gonna lock that one away.
Low away, you put it in the
for-
bowl.
That's something I would say. Like that's one of my. Thank you for another dad pun to add to the repertoire. I'll use that. But
at
here's-
the next land, bro, you gotta go to him. Like when he finishes up his match, you go give him a handshake.
Yeah,
Bro,
you
bro,
went
you
ham.
a ham, dude.
he must know it already, right? Like he's either heard it or he said it to himself, or he's just not thinking hard enough.
You think he's like hyping himself up again? He's like, I'm going ham, dude.
bro.
I'm going ham. Oink, oink. That'd be so intimidating to see him standing up and he's just oinking at the opposing team, dude. Only Piggy, man.
That would be
Only
pretty
Piggy.
Now, I still haven't figured out what the EX stands for exactly, but maybe we'll find out in this game. Of course, what I would like to see, though, is ESA Red going ham, honestly. Too nice. He's the one with the opportunity.
I like Piggy saying a lot, you know? Like, I like the saying. I wonder why he went to X.
I think
One of
his
these
Saiyan
days.
was Saiyan, but now Saiyan is Lucid. So,
Yeah, well,
That was
it's
a
just
little,
like
preemptive.
I feel like everyone thought like Piggy Saiyan was like Saiyan Smurf for a long time. They're like,
right.
yeah,
That's true.
I mean, you couldn't tell by the way he was playing in late Halo 5. Let me tell you that. The man was going crazy. There's a reason why he's finding himself with some great opportunities in Halo Infinite.
Well, let's see him take advantage of this opportunity today. Unless Too Nice has something to say about it, he'll drop a nade behind as he tries to get a reroute here into the A stronghold. That's not the melee he was looking for, though. Tony had a stronger one planned. That'll give him back A. The fight for B in session somehow doesn't take that kill. Aperture just going to leave him alone for now.
Hey, you know, sometimes your BR, your Blicky, it just don't get the job done. Aperture, they get a few little blank shots back there. Oh my, yo!
Oh, my.
He said, "Bull." Put the shotgun shot in the sky and hit the clay pigeon. Are you kidding me? That was like pure reactionary shot too with that heat wave. That's an insane shot to hit.
Honestly, my favorite thing about the heat wave is just how precise it is. If you're accurate, right? Just the attention to detail, lead your shot just a little bit. And next thing you know, you can snipe somebody with it. We'll see what else they can put together. Of course, Stan, eyes on the OS at this point. Too nice little double team cross. But somehow the two men are not enough to get the OS before he dies. At the very least, they will deal with him.
So J Grav says Piggy X comes
From Pokemon?
From Pokemon. How? I don't understand. But I also don't
Is it-
keep up with Pokemon.
Is it
at all.
Pokemon EX or is it Pokemon? Isn't it Pokemon GX or is that Dragon Ball? I'm tripping. I don't even know. I don't follow Pokemon.
J Grav asked me to look it up. It's like I'm not like busy right now, Grav. Like, come on.
Tony would do it. Garrett,
Yeah,
come on.
hey, that's true. I gotta think like Tony. We see a potential trip cap coming in already for minions, and ESA Red, although they've been able to find their spots, they haven't been able to really control the map thus far. It really has been minions' playground thus far, and it's up to Ampion right here to make a big play. He can't afford to get backsmacked was the word I was gonna say, and that's exactly what happens, and that's gonna be a devastating one as 4 go down for ESA Red.
Scrappy fights here for ESA Red that unfortunately they're just not coming out on top of. Piggy, probably part of the reason why that's happening, man, is 7-2 at the moment. Can he continue to lock it down? He's going to have to face 3 here. Isolates one fight, drops him out of the doorway for a clean finish. That's 2 dead on the feet as well. Piggy will drop with a trade. That's just to get to A, though. ESA Red just trying to stop the bleeding here. You can tell they're struggling a little bit.
Aperture working on this rotation with the sniper. He's going to be so important right here just to be able to close down the lanes of the map. Yeah, I love the reactions that you see from players. I think it's like one thing that you can tell the different echelon of player. Whoever can just instantly react and swipe to where they need to go perfectly. Obviously, the sniper's so pinpoint in this game that you're not going to see those crazy like Halo 5 reaction shots, but it's so interesting how quick some of these players are on the clap back.
Completely agree. I think the biggest thing is the instinct behind it, right? Like, I find a lot of players when they come up, maybe there's too much thought behind the process of shooting and the learning component. It's like, once you learn it, the more you think, the worse you play. You got to think less, right? Like, a lot
It's
of
just
these
a gut
pros,
feeling, man.
exactly. They're just locked in. There's no thinking happening. It's all just natural. It's all just intuition in the heat of the moment. So let's see what intuition Nexi has, probably to run away in this situation.
We'll have to ask T-Squared if it's intuition or if he thought about it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just pure animal instinct when that man was playing the game, because when it comes to some crazy reaction shots, I always think of what T-Squared was able to do. But so far, man, ESA Red just continually find themselves going 3 or 4 down, and really it's just hampering them because the slays aren't too uneven right now. Obviously there is an advantage for minions, but the biggest difference is when ESA Red finds their kills, it's 1, 2 at a time. When minions do it, it's 3, 4. They're getting that clean wipe, and it makes it so much easier to push in for these triple caps.
And at this point, it just feels like the kills they're finding are get off me kills. Get off me, bro. Like right here, right? When he's just getting aggressive, flying the back beat. Right? It's just like, it's just a second that you manage to trade out that situation to slow things down. But the inevitable is coming, right? The BC hold in play, 165 and counting. And ESA Red, they got to do a little more than just, get off me, bro, at this point. I think
you gotta I'm gonna call you Caliaway with the way you said that, man. That sounded like a California Valley girl accent right there.
Valley
Get
girl?
off me.
what that would begin to sound like, but I'll take
A
it.
Valley guy, a surfer guy, you know. Hey, bro.
You said
Get
Valley
off
girl.
me. Get off me, bro.
Get off me.
Camouflage coming up soon. That's gonna be important. No, I was gonna say it's like I don't think it was intended for him to throw that sticky down on the ground, but if he would have used that for instance blow tech to get a kill, it would have been crazy to see. But minions just clearly starting to run away with this game.
They're just having fun with it at this point. Sliding in, grabbing snipe. Doesn't actually use it there. He'll pocket it. Tony looking for a second. Can't quite find him. Talk about those reaction flicks and what happens when you get de-scoped as you flick. You can just see the result right there. All the way across the screen. Nice moves out of Tony. Not quite connecting with shots. Respect the drop, too. Just trying to do damage in that situation, but it's not coming together. Thankfully for minions, they can afford to make flashy plays and not get away with it.
See, that Tony was looking a little bit like me right there. You know, you pick up that sniper, you have great ambitions for it, but you know you're not going to hit a shot through that entire
But if you do, it looks badass, though.
Yeah, you see, that's what I'm saying. Imagine, though. You see, that's how I always think when I'm playing that sniper. You know, curb slide out, go for the 360 no scope, because damn, if you do hit it, it's gonna be so sweet. ESA Red, they're scoring for now, but you can see minions are consistently just applying pressure. And when you really think about the differences, it just comes in the killing feed. The kill is just so lopsided at this point in the favor of minions. If ESA Red want to get back into this game, they need to start finding some clean wipes.
Not against Nebula, they won't, though. 8 kills to his name, 13 assists, right? So just locking it down for the team, doing the damage he needs to. Top tower is the play, and there goes Stan. Will immediately spot another and cuts. They're just going flying like they can't lose at this point here. Garrett, 45, 47, and counting. The time whittling away, and so is the life of ESA Red. They are knocked out of this tournament in a clean 3-0.
Well, Piggy got up to 15 that game. I still think he's behind the rest of his teammates, but he will have one more series to try to rack up some more of those kills. A 3-0 for minions. ESA Red had an opportunity in that Slayer, but I think the objectives just got away from them. The flag and the strongholds convincingly going in minions' favor.
Definitely, and it felt like, if anything, maybe they run out of gas a little bit by the time we got to game 3. Maybe some heartbreaking, moments that took place in the Slayer. Of course, we had a reset and a 2-kill advantage. Who knows what it is? I think, stuff happens in Halo that you can't predict sometimes, and I think staying at the top of your game, staying mentally, in it is so key. And hopefully we do see, ESA Red go back to the books, go back to the practice, especially with the addition of Coach Clutch as well. Not quite sure how involved he might be getting in between tournaments. But there's an opportunity with that team, especially in Game 1 and Game 2. You clean up a couple little things, and the results, I think, are completely different.
I think I love the growth that we've seen from ESA Red. I think there's still some more work to be done. Yeah. But I think this is a team that's gotten considerably better since their first foray into the Halo scene, and I'm really excited to see what they're able to do in the future. I think there's really going to be an opportunity for these guys to find an upset one time.
I think so too, Garrett. And I'm curious to know what T-Squared thinks as well. I know, Garrett, we talked about him a little bit earlier in the broadcast. How much thinking, I guess, is required at this top level of Halo?
Thanks, guys. Great job casting those matches. Yeah, I mean, I think that they hit the nail right on the head with running out of gas and also some heartbreaking moments, because you really just look at how close game number 1 and game number 2 were, and there was moments where, again, the slays were really even in game number 1. I think that Garrett touched base on something that's really important, was the timing of the slays that were happening coming in for minions were just well executed, and not only that, they capitalized on certain things. And I think that that's what, you know, really great teams do, is they capitalize on not only mistakes and punish you for the mistakes that you make in certain points, but they capitalize on the kills that they get, and they maximize the kills that they get. And you saw a couple of missed opportunities. There was a missed opportunity after the restart in game number 2 where there was all 3 dead, and ESA Red doesn't end up pushing over towards the rockets. And granted, they do get the rockets. However, one's already been used in the chamber. And when we're talking about, you know, already being down 2 from the restart, plus you're already down 1-0 in the series, these are just little minor mistakes that you can't end up making. So it was kind of tough, and it was kind of heartbreaking to watch game 3 go the way that it did, because it was a fairly close series up until that point. And you really hope that, you know, ESA Red's going to be able to bounce back. But I was really impressed with Too Nice. If I had to pick anybody that I kind of had my eye out on how ESA Red was performing, I thought that Too Nice had a lot of really great plays. There was a time that Aperture was looking really, really hot in game number 2 before the restart, and he stayed alive for extremely long over towards the cafe side. And Aperture, I think, was like 10-2 at a certain point. So to be able to shut someone down that was on a roll, get some momentum back on over towards your team, but it wasn't just like the kill that he got, it was how he got it. I mean, he had every type of disadvantage. Aperture was full shields, Too Nice was no shields. He stayed behind the pillar. Aperture also had a thrust in his back pocket. So when you talk about making plays like that, I think overall there was a lot of hope and things to be looking forward to for ESA Red. They just got to make sure that they don't let series get away from them, and they don't, get down on themselves. And Strongholds is a very tough game type to be down 2-0 in and have it being in game 3, because say that you don't have that hot start, you see the score kind of ticking up, and it's 160 compared to 30. That number just seems so high, and you're up, you're down 0-2, and everything seems to have, you're back against the wall, and it seems like you're not going to be able to do it. But I really like the way that both teams played, and I think that we're in a really, great spot for watching competitive Halo. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it, because I've been enjoying the level of competition that these guys are bringing to the table. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come up next, I think we're going to have ESA Blue versus Oxygen, so don't go anywhere.
I'll be loading up, they wanna package this. Pray for peace, pacifist, I'm never old enough to give a promise.
Tyson boneless buffalo bites have that tasty kick of flavor, so they're perfect for any get-together. If there are any left when your guests arrive. Tyson Anytizers Chicken. More kicks of flavor, more smiling snackers, more to love. Tyson.
No way.
Get it.
Watch out, top A.
Nice, last one's low.
I got one.
Hello, and welcome back to Series E Exhibition Night. It's been a hell of a night so far. A quick series, I guess, unfortunately, for our ESA Red team. But fortunately for Minions, they are looking deadly today. I can't wait to see how they perform in the next matchup. Before we get there, though, we do have ESA Blue. We got Oxygen coming up. Oxygen with a birthday boy on the team as well. We've got Common. His birthday, I don't know why I called him birthday boy. Garrett. But here he is.
Birthday
Happy
boy
birthday
Common, baby.
And hopefully pops off today.
it's you know, it's about that
like
BBC, that birthday
this,
boy Common, baby. That's what I love to see. Oh my God, you're cracking me up today, Shy.
We're having a good time.
We're having a good time. Yeah, we're having a good time. I was gonna say it's not even like the intentional jokes today, baby.
To be honest, if I'm not good at comedy, I'll just straight up say it. I think the only time I'm ever funny is when I don't mean to be funny. When I try, it doesn't hit right. You know, it just has to happen naturally. So maybe you caught me in the act today.
Do you have like a go-to joke? I mean, like let's rate your comedy joke right now. Do you know, like guys, like any jokes on board?
You just have to kind of let it happen. You can't, like, that's the thing, is you're putting me on the spot to make the joke. It's gonna be terrible, whatever it is. Just trust. You'll find there'll be another one organically. I'll do something. I'll make a fool of myself. Either way, I guarantee these players won't, or at least I hope. We've seen some pretty wild plays today and some plays made on a few of our players as well. Either way, we got double recharge, I guess, for our series layout to start this. Oddball Streets, King of the Hill, Livefire, Slayer, Aquarius, and of course, once again, Oxygen, ESA Blue. Curious to see how the boys in blue are doing today.
Yeah, ESA Blue, hopefully going to do a little bit better than their counterparts. I wore the shirt in support, boys get in there. Half of the shirt is dedicated to you. We'll see.
The other half is
how they do.
Dead currently.
Dead, yeah. Currently regretting a single elimination bracket.
Right.
We got back-to-back recharges. Huh? You like the shock rifle?
Said, yeah.
You like the shock rifle? I like the shock rifle. We're going to see a lot of that shock rifle today.
See, the thing with the shock is, from a viewer perspective, it's one of the sickest weapons in the game. That the pros, the longer I watch, the more they have stuff to say they don't like. You know what I mean? Like, I think I saw Snipe Down the other day saying there's just too much aim assist, apparently, in hip fire. And I think a few pros would agree with it. The amount of plays that we've seen, like triples and overs and kill tacks out of anyone, really. Like, I think his quote was something like, if I'm seeing people on the timeline hitting sick clips I've never heard of, then we know there's a problem or something. I shouldn't be taking the words
that's too much stank right there, bro, on the anyone, bro. You got some people on mind that you're trying to call out. That's all I'm saying, man.
No. What I'm trying to say is the shock is a sick weapon. Is it too sick? We'll find out, I guess.
You know what I'm saying? Make the sniper rifle have the same amount of magnetism. I just want to see all the clips. I don't care if you have to be good or bad to hit them. I just like to see the excitement.
That's a good point. Let's see what they put together here. Of course, our first game of our best of 5 series, and Oxygen not going to make it easy for him, I guarantee.
Dude, is Chris Common like popping a shot real fast for his birthday celebration? He's just chilling in the back of tower. Looks like he figured it all out as he gets back into the action. But we're already seeing the shock rifle moving into the hands of ESA Blue. As long side of the sword cape does go down, but you can see power weapons going to ESA Blue, but the Slays not there to follow, and Auction trying to take advantage by getting themselves into a trip cap right away.
Taking a quick peek at that ESA Blue roster, by the way, there, Garrett, we got Kabe, I think it's Reverbed, right? Hopefully, Alleluia, and Pac Mandela. Seen a couple swaps throughout the weeks with this team, and I'm wondering if this might be the 4 squad to win it or to just get dropped by Common, right? We said it's his birthday. Man's already popping off here with a double. Just apparently, this is his house too. Control.
I always thought it was reverbed, but Riverbed.
You know what? Reverbed is exactly what it is. As I'm reading it, I'm like, this is completely wrong, and I'm glad that you were.
I'm so terrible at like gamer tag, so I'm never sure.
I can't. Reverbed is how I'm. Wow. Okay.
Oh, it's like I was like that actually makes sense because when you said it, I questioned myself. That's why I brought it up. I was like, am I the one that's wrong right here? No, it's fine. It's fine.
We'll call him Ty. That's right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Ty. Yeah, Ty. Ty also seeing the respawn screen with the rest of his team for a little bit right there as he went 4 down once again. ESA Blue just looking rough to start, not quite able to keep up with the pace of Oxygen Esports.
One thing's for sure, Oxygen is a well-practiced team, and we're seeing that early on here. Triton about to add insult to injury, just picks up the shot and connect. Of course he does. Cross map. Do not get in this man's reticle. Reverb, you're going to have to back off in long haul. You can see he's in trouble already. Bone with an angle. That gives Triton the info he needs for another spawn kill.
Oh, Triton, you got to hit that one, brother. That's you know, we're talking about how forgiving the shock rifle is. You got Camo standing with a player standing still in front of you. I did literally no excuses. That's one that you're gonna hope that gets deleted off the VOD later tonight.
I think the easiest shots are the hardest sometimes, right? When it's
to be
like
honest,
you've got the shot lined up, the guy's doing the bot movement because he has no idea that you're looking at him, and that's all it takes. You know, just an awkward strafe, I think, is enough to throw off even the best of players.
Yo, Triton, what? Oh my God, bro. That's when you know a player's feeling a little bit confident right there. He just jumped out. He's like, yeah, I'm coming. You can try to stop me. As we see Oxygen continue to score, it's Chris Common, the birthday boy Common, back with the shock rifle in the backhand. His opportunity to try to make some plays.
Not too much he's had to do so far. Just the decimation we've seen out of the entirety of Oxygen here working together. Jumps over the head of Alleluia. Probably said it as he jumped over. Gonna kill Kabe maybe here too. Kabe actually gonna reverse that situation right around before it looked ugly. But can they reverse the game before it gets ugly here, Garrett? It already is kind of ugly.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you gotta be honest. You know, your boy comes home and you're like, yeah, that's a little ugly right there, man. You got to be able to clean this one. I am a terrible father. You know, let's just say I'm not allowed to. I'm not going to be the best father. I can already tell you that.
No,
I'm way too
now
critical.
I feel bad. Let's not.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I've accepted it. Okay. It's fine. Right. You know, if anyone's ever played Halo with me, they'll know. You know, I'm not built for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not too great with the what do you call it? Critical feedback, constructive feedback. To me, it's all critical. You know what I'm saying? You make the wrong play, I'm letting you know you make the wrong play. Fair enough. In the game.
I just feel like I can't help but worry I'd put too much pressure on my kid to take the mantle of all my failed ambitions in Halo.
Dude, imagine
the most
he's
cracked
like
player in the game.
He's like 5 years old. You're like, you're hitting the curb slide, kid.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, imagine. Holy. We're going to be seeing that in the next, like, 5-10 years. You know, like all those crazy, like, sports fathers, sports parents. Like, you're going to see that in esports. And it's going to be crazy because you're going to be like, there's going to be people that are like, you can't get off. You can't go do homework until you hit your 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be some crazy fathers.
Yeah, we'll save that one for the podcast, Garrett. In the meantime, let's peek back into the action. Not too much left to cast, though. 210 and counting. Pac Mandela going to do what he can to slow things down in the A-cap. Looks like he'll leave it for a teammate. Hopefully get involved in B Stronghold, but needs kills first before he does this. And what is happening? Was that did they both die? What?
Yeah, that's crazy. I honestly have no idea what happened right there. Yo, I mean, Oxygen really just hasn't felt any resistance in this game, right? ESA Blue, they just haven't been able to stack these kills on top of each other. They haven't been able really to find any spacing on the map for the most part, and really Oxygen has just felt comfortable. I think that's just been the biggest difference is we've just seen comfortable. But I love that back style play from Ty right here, able to be patient, find the picks, but while all that's happening, still not scoring, and it looks like the game gonna fall away. So even though he gets that nice double kill at the end, it won't stop the game from ending.
That was a rough one, to say at the least. No real opportunity, unfortunately, for ESA Blue to showcase their stuff. Instead, Oxygen just completely showing up and showed out from the moment it began to the moment it ended there. Garrett, that was quick and clean. Looks like it's not going to be a double recharge. That makes sense. We're going to jump into Catalyst next instead, mix things up. But, you know, hopefully we see something slightly different at the very least, so we get some competition here. Of course, ESA Blue, we know individually these boys can play, they can hang. It's when it comes together in a team against a well-coordinated Oxygen Esports, like they've got their strats down packed, they got their timings down, they're winning their fights right now because of it. And I mean, the snowball is real.
Yeah, this map, it's just like after what we just saw, right? It's like this map might be one of the worst ones for ESA Blue to see in the rotation just because of how open it is. And if you're not able to be comfortable, that's where you can find yourself getting punished on this map way too much, right? There's so many spawns where you're gonna watch someone spawn. So really important to get as much map control as possible, being able to work with your team from long range angles and know when to bunch up and when to expand out. And that's where we saw Auction be really comfortable. That's where we saw much needed improvement for ESA Blue in that recharge game.
And when I think Comfort in Halo and Catalyst, those two don't typically gel well together, at least as far as, maybe this is just talking from my own experience, but Catalyst, of course, a newer map. You've got some unpredictable spawns, I think, at times, or maybe unfavorable, right? Spawns right in your reticle if you're not, kind of ready for it. But we'll see what they can do to put things together and lock down the map. Of course, you've got the grapple to work with here. You got the repulsor, sword, OS, going to be always my favorite to see off the rip here. Who goes for OS, whether or not they go for it immediately. And then I think the playmaking device of the map, too, the skewer.
Yeah, skewer, man, it's so interesting how the skewer... It's so, I don't even want to say it's high risk, high reward, because I don't ever feel it's like risky to use, but it's like you either hit the shot and you're like going off running, or you're gonna miss it and you're like, okay, I gotta back up, spend 15 seconds to reload this gun and miss my timing. So always important to be able to be accurate with that thing. I will say, it's a little easy, a little cheesy up close, but when you hit those long range shots, man, it is really satisfying.
Little easy and cheesy, he says. Well, I'm down for it either way. Of course, they got to get the weapon first. You can see Nemesis going to get away with this sword, maybe a little bit.
Maybe not.
Just trying to squeak around the corner, and he just barely does. That wouldn't have worked for me in matchmaking for the record, but Nemesis, he's got a second win.
Yeah, he's going to be able to put it to great work, a perfect kill. And now he has a sword in a perfect spot. Oh, no, bad timing. I was like, he had the right idea, right? But sometimes you just second guess yourself. Didn't end up quite working in his favor. But sometimes you just got to trust that gut feeling sometimes. You knew you needed that sword out, play up, play close. And now it's up to Bohm to take that sword and put it to work.
That's the one real risk-reward factor of this sword is just the draw time to pull it out, right? Knowing when. Well, this is a perfect sound cue. At the very least, he gets one kill. Yeah, but I guess Kabe there to back it up.
That was crazy. I mean, like, if the sword had, like, bleed through or something right there, you could have got a double kill. They're, like, right inside of each other. They both punched at the same time, and it felt like almost an instant kill as they wrapped that corner. Oh, wow. Great job by Cade, playing extremely well right here, able to get the double kill and letting his teammates know where that skewer is. It might be worth just picking that thing up. Even if you don't want to keep it, just throwing it a little bit back so your teammates don't have to come so far to get it. But it looks like he is gonna, there we go, gonna hand that off. Important to not have your sword player holding the skewer, let's just say that. Oh my god, wow. Great. Cade is playing incredible, man. I love what I'm seeing right now from Cade. Recovered. Perfect.
However, had he slashed him perfectly the first time, he probably wouldn't have died, right? That team cross coming in to clean him up. A little unfortunate. Make sure I say his name right this time, though. I assume Cave now. I've been saying Kabe. I'm getting it all wrong here. Let's see what Triton can do.
Kabe is like, I guess if he was like Japanese or something, right? Like,
Kabe sounds kind of cool, but Cave makes sense.
Kabe sounds like an anime protagonist, you know what I'm saying? And, with how he's been playing early on in this game, that might just be true. He's been looking like an anime protagonist in this game. The sword's a little cursed today. People just a little premature on the swing. A second time we've seen it, but the recovery's still there. It does come at the cost of his life, though.
What's clear is just how important it is in the game. We'll see what Reverb can do from the sword pillar. Not too much, unfortunately. Bohm here to add some supporting fire. He's knocked down. Going to sit teetering on the edge. The nades, not quite going to do the trick. Teammates there to pick up the kills as well. Nice live out of Bohm. He's back in the action. Doesn't quite make it out of the fight, but the damage done. Going to make things difficult for Cabe here, who can't quite squeak out.
Man, this game just slowed down. I love how this game can really slow down.
Yeah.
As you see both teams taking opposite sides, and you're going to see a lot of pressure build up. And it's when that first kill goes down, that's when these players are going to be let loose and decide where to push. But you see, ESA Blue has completely countered to the opposite side of the map, and they've been able to find birthday boy comment at the bottom. That should open up an opportunity. Yo, what? He got repulsed back into the doorway, made him miss the grapple, huh?
Interesting grapple idea to begin with, but yeah, like you said, like mid grapple, I guess he got sent through the door into his death there. The result of that, a 3-kill advantage for Oxygen. Took a quick peek in the chat, by the way. Garrett Bungus says Kabe is Kage. I'm actually a Smash Bros fan, so I think that's where it's coming from, is I know Kage well.
What is Kage?
Kage is a Ganon main from Canada. He's a great player.
Oh, so he's saying, so like he named himself after another pro player?
I don't know. I'm just saying that's where that's where like the idea to call him Kabe came from that.
I always thought it was Gabe. I think that's cool. That's how you say his name. That's perfect. Oh, yo, sword. Dude, we're seeing a lot of sword action early on in this game. I would say that goes kind of hard.
Assuming that's how you say his name, because we still don't know. I'm just saying the reason I called him that is because I know Kage, and I got used to it. Anyway, either way, Triton's going to steal the show, as he very well should. They'll come out with a trade in that situation. He's going to get a trade of his own in a flurry of nades here. Pac Mandela just going to run and hide in this situation. No, I take it back. Nice, beautiful reversal kill. Last shot. Can he stay alive? Apparently he can. They've forgotten about him. Sword back in hand as it continues to be the hot potato of the game here. Who can get the sword?
He's a survivor today, man. See some. Oh my shoot! No, what is going on in this game? The sword is like cursed in this one thus far. It is just not doing what people want it to do. As another unfortunate kill slips away. We're seeing Oxygen play. I mean, I feel like we've seen ESA Blue in the last couple of minutes really find their spots, get these kills, but it just hasn't been enough for them to get themselves really within that striking distance you want to see.
Unfortunate for Triton there. Can't quite stay alive. Pac Mandela will take it instead. Looks like he's now in trouble, but I take it back. Nice little reversal with the repulse. Can he get out of this situation, though? Teammate nearby. And a bob and weave around the corner. Majority of the fights have been taking place on repulse here. Nice little trade before he drops, too. Going to keep that 6-kill advantage for Oxygen. ESA Blue got to start thinking about these approaches they make to repulsor, right? Got to be so careful about any trade they give up in the situation. That OS fight, I think, might be the one for the game here, depending on how they play it.
The game has just been muddy, you know. It's no one's really been able to get that clean wipe and get to the spots that they want. We're seeing a lot of trade for trade, a lot of nades that are coming out, cleaning up some stray pushers. It's been very interesting thus far. The only problem for ESA Blue is that works into the advantage of Oxygen with the lead that they have. They're fine with going trade for trade. As long as they're able to put up kills on the board, they'll be able to outpace ESA Blue. So we need to see a clean wipe, a clean collapse from ESA Blue. And well, I think the motions have started. We see them within 4, make it 3, as ESA Blue starting to heat up towards this end game.
ESA Blue doing everything they can just to close the gap here, but can't quite do it against Bowman Nemesis, working together in unison. That's 3 dead. Pac Mandela going to drop as well, so what could have been an advantage for ESA Blue just ripped away. They'll spawn up opposite side map. Opportunity to slow the game down, but it looks like Oxygen do not want that to happen. They're going in guns blaze, and boom. First one to enter the fray here. Can you get something going on Pac? You leave a one-shot bait and switch opportunity. ESA Blue, they got to play perfect.
When things seem to be going right, it suddenly becomes disastrous for both sides. ESA Blue looked like they're getting back into the game, and we saw immediately Oxygen essentially get a full wipe. And then Oxygen tries to push their advantage on the way back, and it's ESA Blue who responds. And once again, within 3, this is where ESA Blue need to capitalize. It's important to execute here. You want to get this game within 1 or 2 kills as you approach the final 4 kills.
Little dance with death around that corner coming out of Reverb. Knows he's got a one-shot kill weapon, but cannot miss the target. Unfortunately, he will. He's going to have to curb slide out of this. Just a little reposition. Not enough to get out of the line of fire of Bohm. Great positioning at a Bohm there. Just a cherry pick. Look what he gets from it. That's 2:49, the final kill in this game to close it. Hallelujah will slow down what feels like the inevitable at this point.
Yeah, Bohm
There's
is
the
just
stick.
played. Yeah, stick gets it done. I mean, what a great position from Bohm at the end right there. Just knowing his teammates were pushing forward, he came up off spawn and held for a second. He said, well, I'm not going to be able to get into that fight in time. What I can do is watch the escape routes, right? And he got himself in the perfect position to do so, finds himself 2 easy kills, and puts that game out of reach for ESA Blue.
It makes me think, if I'm reverbed in that situation, I wonder if you hit the curb slide, hold out that slide, and land yourself. You want to be in front of the arm, basically, so that you're not in the line of sight of Bohm, and you're not in the line of sight of any player coming through the doorway, and you can sound cue the doorway if somebody's nearby, let's say. But it's just that idea of, like, getting out of action, but also preemptively cutting, angles that you might be revealing yourself to as you are escaping the action as well. And like you said, that's also just testament to Bohm to have that foresight to see the rotation through Repulsor's side, and instead of wasting his time being a back player Repulsor, he says, no, I got the angle, I can just cross these guys, let me do the damage, let them get aggressive. And that has just punched their ticket, I guess, into game 3 here, Garrett. We're looking at the same situation we just did in the previous series, a potential 3-0 this time for Oxygen.
Yeah, potential 3-0. I think it's so interesting. Like, when you spawn up in Halo, right, it's like you're seeing different tree routes. You can do A, B, X, Y, Z, and depending on what you do, you'll have different choices that come along the path. And ensuring that the most important one is that first choice, right? When you're spawning up, recognizing the situation, and then being able to choose the correct one so you have the best possible chance of making the correct play. But then sometimes you're not going to make the right play, or situations change, and it's about being adaptable. And so far, that's what we've seen, a really great sport for Oxygen so far. I mean, they've just been incredible at being adaptable throughout these games. ESA Blue, it's they need to be a little bit more malleable with their situations. I think Oxygen has been able to apply just so much overwhelming pressure that ESA Blue hasn't been able to get comfortable. But you have to be able to learn how to play against teams that are able to apply that sort of pressure, that are faster. The biggest thing I hear from players who are first up and coming throughout the scene, and they're starting to play against pro players, they're starting to play against some of these better teams, like, the game's they just play faster. How are they this fast? And being able to adapt to that, play against that, and know how to play against these faster teams is really a key success indicator that you got to see for these up and coming teams.
Right, and just talking about speed, it's being able to capitalize on the little advantages that you get throughout the game as well. And I think we saw one of those advantages from ESA Blue. It's hard to kind of state the moment, but they had 2 dead, and they had closed the gap in the score line, and they're pushing up, I think it's Nemesis and Bohm, right? The final 2 to kill. And for whatever reason with their numbers, they couldn't quite find those final 2 cleanly. If you can't take advantage of those little opportunities and you let somebody like Bohm and Nemesis pull away and get trades, you're not going to come back in the game. So let's see what they do. Their third and final opportunity to do it. A quick kill at a reverb is exactly what he needs. And they get the ball off this opening.
Finally, that player going down, some stray stalker shots, and well, oddball. I always say oddball is the game of attrition, right? But yeah, you have to be able to play on a high level for an extended period of time. It's not unusual for these games to go 20, 22 minutes based on how the slays are falling in this game. So ESA Blue, they have to be able to maintain their best performance for an extended period of time. But already Oxygen, they've gotten a great chunk of change early on, but the collapse does come in from ESA Blue. It's going to be these moments right here where they get 3-4 down, get ball time, are going to be the most pivotal ones on how they set up next and how they can have long-term execution, long-term holds that lead to a plethora of points.
About to say, I'd like to see Cabe be the one on the aggression here, not the ball holder, so he does put it down. Shotty in hand, make it a stalker now. He'll deal the damage. Got the ball still in hand for a rotation back to PD. You want to see a teammate pick it up, let this man get the cross going with the stalker. At the very least, can lock down tires. This is the perfect situation to get aggressive. Cabe gonna look for it, can't quite find it on Nemesis. Beautiful shots from that balcony, gonna keep him back, make him think twice about getting aggressive.
Just some awkward timing for Cabe right there, just not able to get to his spot in time. He's gonna follow that stalker shotgun, and that was the bedrock of that setup for ESA Blue. Without that weapon being in their hands, it's gonna be a little bit mixy as these next couple kills, we're going to see them probably go trade for trade with different players. Oh my, hallelujah. I mean, he is praising hallelujah to the skies. He's alive right now. I don't know how those nades didn't finish it out. Common will get it done with the rockets. Yeah, he was living on borrowed time anyway.
I mean, if anything, that's an advantage, right? Like just having, I mean, well, he did still die, but just the fact that they had to burn a rocket to kill him says something. Cabe will slide into his own death. Little clothesline there off the melee. Thanks to Bohm. Can Bohm stay up, though? Hallelujah trying to get in the fray. You got Common as a line of defense. So quick little turnaround here at Oxygen. They got a temporary hold. Opportunity to rotate that ball, too. If they can see the spawners coming up in Cafe, they'll keep the ball back to B. Ideally, that's a line of coverage they can work with and play some defense.
I was going to say that's a very interesting play from Bohm. I think he was expecting to catch some players off rotation by making a quick cut through the middle, but the way he adapts to that play, right? His play didn't work out. He adapts, goes back to middle, lets his teammate pick up the kill and gets rewarded with a shotgun, eventually able to put another one on board. And it's that adaptation that you love to see from these players. When X goes wrong, what do you do with Y and Z? And if you're able to make the best possible play, that's where you see the most success as a teammate. I don't know how he died right there, man. That's a tough look.
It's just these little team play opportunities where you'd expect a bait and switch out of ESA Blue to come out on top. Instead, you get the exact opposite out of Oxygen. Going to continue to collect time off that, triple round of kills we just saw there. Spawners back up in Cafe. They've got to unify and do so quickly. Might be their final opportunity to push up on C here. And you can see Nemesis just getting preemptively kind of ready to toss that ball out if he needs to. Somebody gets too close to the man, he'll drop it down. Spike nade's already blown. Teammates with the kills, he'll go right back to the hole. He doesn't even need to get involved just yet.
Yeah, Nemesis has had the easiest job yet. I mean, the man's just been able to hold the ball and doesn't have to shoot his PR. You did see ESA Blue getting some split spawns right there, so they had presence towards B Balk, but it was Cave who spawned. Oh, dude, that's a tough look, man. Sometimes kills just do not go in your favor, and once again, it's about being adaptable, right? Oxygen, they noticed that the split spawns came in. That wasn't the plan, but they are able to come out on top anyway. ESA Blue, once again, they're pushed, stifled short, as now it's only 10 seconds for round one to go in favor of Oxygen.
Bohm looking to put the nail in the coffin with his rocket launcher, that's for sure. There's Cave. Yep, nice easy kill. Swaps it out with the shotty. Ball going to be in hand in a second, but the preemptive just nades coming into the ball. I like the attention to detail to not drop right away, right? He could have desperated that. Instead, now he gets the ball and just about a guaranteed round one coming up here. Unless Hallelujah can stop it last couple seconds, he'll get close enough to get a trade. Looks like a round of slays came in here too. So Reaver with a quick rotation to see. This would have to be perfect, Garrett.
Yeah, this has been great from ESA Blue on that break, right? So they got the timings correct. They got the 3-4 down. That's exactly what you want to see when you're going for a ball break. The only problem is that it's come so late in the game, right? You have no opportunity to make any mistakes. You have to be quick on you have to be preemptive on the play balls. You have to be able to have open light sight of line. Dude, I am line of sight. That is the word. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Bohm's gonna get the last second. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Just getting tripped up on that one. But Oxygen, I mean, they played a clean game. There really wasn't much to take away that they did wrong. We saw one good collapse from ESA Blue. They were able to get some good time off of it, but just not enough at the end of the day. Oxygen take round one.
I think the biggest thing we witnessed from that one round was their ability to collect ball in PD and safely rotate it all the way back to a C-hauled setup off of one good round of slays that we're starting to witness here, thanks to Bohm. What a dirty double. That's a rocket launcher picked up for it. Ball in hand, back to C to start the game. A little rinse and repeat of what we witnessed last round. ESA Blue, they need to find something and find it quick.
I gotta pay you like some money to say dirty double, make it like my ringtone or something, bro. That was that's some nice texture on that one, bro. We see
nice texture. Thank you.
Yeah, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Dirty double.
Dirty double. But we see some more dirty kills from Bohm, man. It's just Oxygen just cannot lose right now, man. It just feels like every gunfight they get into, they somehow survive. How many times in the last round did we see where you saw a player that you knew for sure should die, and somehow they stay alive for just a little bit longer and are able to get the kill and stay alive?
Survivability, the key to success, and Bohm showing us why as he lives in this situation. Well, one shot, he'll get the killing spree, take out Reverb. That's a thrust he can work with too. It looks like a teammate's already in position to collect the ball for a quick swap, and over 50 seconds just at the start of this round. That's got to hurt for ESA Blue. Their chances of survival in this tournament whittling away by the second here. They don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, this is just a tough start. I mean, your tournament life on the line. This is where you need to come up to the plate, show your mettle, show your resilience. And so far, it's just been a shutout from Oxygen, and they're just going to keep this momentum running. And this is where you really see what teams are made of. When everything is going wrong, when you're constantly getting put on cycle rotations, how do you respond? And right now, Oxygen have just had no resistance throughout this game.
I was wondering, as Bohm's holding the ball to finish the game, Triton's mid-map by himself still getting kills somehow. I was trying to figure out what exactly went wrong for ESA Blue. Now Bohm going to do the damage, make it 3. What? I don't even know what I witnessed, but I'll take the triple. That should be it for the game here. Rockets in hand. Oh, don't. He's just getting ruthless at this point, looking for a spawner.
Nice little cherry on top, right? The dirty double into the tasty triple.
How long did you think of that one?
A solid
you were sitting
5
on that
seconds.
for a little while.
A little solid, top of the head, you know what I'm saying? Right off the dome. Oxygen, I mean, this is the Oxygen that's new, I think last split we would have seen like Oxygen have a little bit of a struggle throughout a couple of those games, but this time around it was just clean throughout the entire tenure. I mean, the strongholds wasn't close at all. They were able to win Catalyst pretty comfortably, and then a shutout in the final round of Oddball.
Complete shutout. Unfortunate for ESA Blue. One thing we have noticed with this team is just the swap of players throughout the roster over the weeks, and that's never a good recipe for success with your team if things are, mixing up on the fly. Hopefully they do find a roster that sticks and a game plan that sticks. Of course, we saw Coach Clutch with, ESA Red and the potential there. I'm not sure if he's doing double shifts, if he's jumping back and forth with the teams, but coach is one way to also unify these teams. But either way, I think it's just reps in individual skill wise. We saw some great plays, right? We saw some moments out of Reaver. We saw some moments out of several members on. I'm always blanking on teams' names whenever I have the opportunity, but I want to say there were moments of brilliance, but when it came to teamwork, it wasn't there, unfortunately, against Oxygen, who have a rock-solid game plan at the moment. And it turns out, even though it's Common's birthday, and we had some reservations about, maybe he's celebrating, maybe he had a couple drinks, it's not affecting the gameplay at all. This man is putting it together today, Garrett.
Yeah, he's put it together, man. Whenever they put up his picture, man, it makes me just want to smile, man. That is like a definition of an infectious smile, man.
They should have a grunt birthday party noise every time he comes in.
They need to add you. Yeah, they got to bring you in a little bit earlier. That would have been actually a little birthday. I would do like every kill that he gets. There's a little birthday party. Grunt birthday party. Is that a thing in Halo yet?
I'm surprised that's not a thing in Infinite right now.
All I know is there's that one that has like the anvil clink or whatever. It's like whenever I get killed, I will say that makes me want to like turn off the audio in my game. If I can have the grunt birthday party, I'll take that all day. 343, please add the grunt birthday party to the game.
Completely agree. The more the merrier. And the more Halo games we get, the merrier as well. We're going to be jumping into our final series of Halo shortly. Before we do that, let's get a quick analysis from T-Squared.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, this one's going to be pretty quick because, let's be honest, that series was kind of quick. And it was tough because, again, it's pretty, close game number 2, but holy cow, Bohm, man. Bohm was popping off in certain moments. And again, you guys hit the nail on the head with him working with Nemesis in that situation where they were just baiting and switching and that 2v4 was going down. But you can't beat the guy on his birthday. Let's be honest. He's just going to be coming through and, having the vibes. And he could be smashed, he could be not. We absolutely have no idea, but he's definitely smashing the competition. And I did get a chance to message one of the players from ESA Blue. It's actually Cab. It's a silent E. So if you guys are wondering, that's exactly what it is. No, it's not. It's probably Cabe. But yeah, let's get ready for the next series that's coming up. We know what that one's going to be. It's going to be Oxygen going up against Minions, and that's going to be your finals. So stay tuned.
nothing, baby. Let's get in there.
I'm fading.
One bad headache can crash your entire game.
Excedrin relieves headaches fast. Excedrin, game over for headache.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Series E for our last time tonight. Our Exhibition Friday nearing its close. Grand Finals is all that's left, baby. This winner gets $500, and I don't know who's going to win this one, Garrett. Just considering what we've seen so far, we've seen 2 3-0s. Very fast ones at that from Minions and from Oxygen, and now it's their turn to go head-to-head.
I mean, you have to give the advantage to Oxygen, right? I mean, it's an established team. They've been teaming with each other. I think T-Square talked a little bit about it, but Bohm has been incredible for this roster. You know, he got released from that Built by Gamers roster. Ever since then, he's come on to Oxygen. He's been the missing piece for these guys to take themselves to that next level and sort of solidify themselves as that like top 16, potential top 12 team. And I'm really excited to see how these guys come out. That being said, on the other side of Minions, I mean, we know how much talent there is, young talent on that squad. Players like Tony and Piggy. You know, Tony, that breakout player from Kansas City, now finds himself in the wind when playing with these guys over here. Nebula, impressive today as well. So I'm excited to see how this one goes.
Same, and it looks like we're going to jump right into the action without any wait time either. I can't complain. On board with Nebula to kick it off, but of course a best of 5 series, kicking things off with Live Fire Ball.
This is you know, a great game one to get yourself like antiquated with your opponents. Let's just say that. Oddball on Live Fire. Usually, oh wow, nice little snipe by Nemesis right there. But this is usually one that's going to be going for a little bit. Nemesis getting some great value out of that sniper, but it's not enough to keep the overshield off of Minions.
Let's see what Kami can do in this situation. Just find himself a clean kill on the Aperture. Just needs an opening for the ball here. Nemesis opposite side map 2. There's 3, or at least 2 he'll run into. Rough spot to be in. And of course, they need those little openings and slays just so they can get the ball back to tower for a setup to start things out here.
This ball is just sitting in the open right now. I was about to say, it was like, no one's really getting kills, but that ball isn't necessarily being overlooked by Minions, and Oxygen tried to take quick advantage of it. Nemesis was able to juggle away a little bit of time, and now power weapons fall into their hands. So Oxygen have an opportunity right here with the power weapons to get into this fight. The only problem was is that they split out the spawns at the same time, and it looks like Minions were quick to take advantage. Piggy flew in, grabbed that ball, and got it back to the rest of his teammates that were spawning at A.
Talked about baiting and switching in that last series. What a display here out of Minions. Despite the heat wave, they would not go down. Common right now, outnumbered. He's going to have to bounce out of the situation. That gives the ball back to Minions for a couple more seconds. I love the rotation, though, being a nuisance for the team as he tries to delay things in time for his teammates to come back and help.
This ball still getting away from Oxygen. I mean, this is a nice little chunk of time. I mean, 20 seconds is nothing to scoff at. It can definitely make the difference in the game, and I believe Minions also should have been able to get that overshield as well, although they aren't really going to be able to put it to much work. It was a nice little display right here from Minions, showing that even when numbers aren't necessarily going right for you, that you're still able to find some value on the map. But a triple from Chris Common. Hello, happy birthday. Make it not quite, but so far Auction's without Slaying by far. I mean, just what we've seen from Auction is just a performance where they're feeling very confident, but Minions have been able to find time in the between these slays.
This entire life from Common, though, just immaculate. Does he still live in this situation, right? This started with him being the one man alive on his team. His teammates had died. He took the attention of Minions, brought them down to bottom mid, got multiple kills. Of course, now he finally dies. What's unfortunate is no time was collected for Oxygen, despite all the slays, despite all the chaos we just witnessed. Minions still bouncing out with the ball here. Triton, at the very least, has a heat wave. Oh, okay, I guess he will get a chance to put it to use.
It's always unfortunate when you have that sniper, you see a player that's weak and you hit the body shot and it's just not enough, and you're like, oh, well, I'm dead. Not gonna go the way that he wanted. That sniper will move into the hands of Tony 2-turn. But he's not able to hit the sniper shot. But I don't know. Like, Auction have just dominated the kill feed thus far. I mean, clearly winning the slaying battle, but it hasn't made a difference because everyone from Minions has been able to execute on their highest level thus far.
Tony turning up with these shots, that's for sure. Man coming in quick. That gives the flexibility to rotate ball over to B here. Over 50 points already for Minions. So despite the slays, the energy we've seen at Oxygen, they got to unify. Got to start getting objective efficient in the situation and watch their heads as well. Tony's looking for him. He knows he's a weak player behind that OS. He doesn't have the resources for this, though. Yeah, that one's going to go over to Oxygen.
Tony looking for those players, not able to find that sniper kill. Would have been a huge pick for him to get that sniper kill. But I mean, can we talk about how Auction has given up 80 seconds of ball time right now? And how ridiculous. I mean, when you look at the score, you know, when the kills and deaths, you wouldn't guess it because it's just been a little bit. It's I think like even on the slays right now, maybe -1 in favor of Oxygen. But this is crazy the amount of time that Minions have been able to suck away from Oxygen.
That's the thing we need to find, or I guess Oxygen needs to find little openings to collect the ball, create a setup, because we've not seen, I mean, really any ball time, but just the setup. So the big thing is that Minions had the A house opening, the C side setup that they rotated to back B. Well, they picked up snipe, right? So it's just the objective efficiency off the little openings they've had, and now the ball in their hands once again, looking to close out round one here. Common limited options. The reach out not going to work out. Tony will take it. Tony, of course, in trouble, but is this enough to get back to the ball? I think I saw a player fly off the edge there, too. That's Bowman will die with it. 11 seconds away from closing things out. Nemesis with a swift rotation. They got to get a setup here.
Yeah, Nemesis was lucky. He got a gifted spawn right there to get right onto that ball. And it's going to be able to get that away for Oxygen. But I think Oxygen need to get out of the framework of just overslaying. They need to be able to get more value per kill for this ball. And they have a massive hill decline with having a 60-point differential as we go into this end game. Minions, though, they're all seeing the respawn screen. This is an opportunity. I mean, Auction, if you're going to come back in this game, you've done everything right? You've gotten the kills. You have spacing on the map. Looks like Nemesis was betting on them trying to push for this overshield, but it looks like they opted to head towards Nest, and I don't know, maybe that's going to cost them because Minions have a great opportunity maybe to get to this ball in time before the overshield can play an impact.
Maybe they do, but you talked about spacing. You got to love the positioning at a Nemesis here as he locks down two in this situation. Sniping hands. Doesn't quite connect with the shot. Maybe he'll reposition. Ball also repositioning through cuts. Spawner going to fly off out the scoreboard, though, and Nemesis is going to miss that one completely. Now he's losing numbers, losing resources here. How does he keep the weapons in play?
Oh, that's a critical one to miss right there. That's going to open up spawns for Minions to get right on top of that ball. And if they can get it behind back tower, I don't think anyone from Auction can even stop it. It's just up to Triton. There's too much in his way. And a game that I don't even want to say it's stolen away. I mean, that's a perfect way to encapsulate it, right? That headshot right there. But I don't even want to say that's stolen away. It's just... the Minions just outplayed Oxygen when it comes to objective efficiency in that game.
Yep. The time and setup, you know, the positioning they gained off the little, you know, rounds of slays they had picked up was just, you know, head and shoulders better. And we'll see if they can maintain it. Of course, Oxygen did have their moment of brilliance, and we witnessed it, you know, on board with Nemesis back with the heat wave. Of course, here we have Aperture with it this time. And a beautiful opening kill as well. That's going to give him access to ball and a snipe apparently too. OS about to spawn up, and Aperture, he's about to earn himself, or I guess the team earn themselves everything they could ever want on the map here.
They're going to drop that heat wave, presumably for Nebula with that overshield. Want to give him some utility to work with as he becomes the back player with his sniper. Ooh, I honestly thought that was gonna hit, man, the way he was lining that up. But once again, it's the same story of old. Minions just able to get maximum value out of this ball. Whenever they get the setup, it seems they're able to find the critical kills on the map that open up lanes and clear rotations for them.
Definitely wild to see, considering the recency, I want to say, that this team has been brought together, right? A roster we have not quite seen yet, at least I haven't seen, you know, in a tournament like this. Still pulling it together in game one, showing they are in their honeymoon period, you could say, at least for now. Oxygen just need to find their footing. There's Nemesis with the kill he needed. That's ball back in the hands of Oxygen back B. Easy opportunity to play it if they need to, so Nemesis just a line of defense. You can tell he's got two key angles to check here as he locks it down.
What's good for Bohm right here is if Bohm sees the slays go for his team, he could look for a rotation, but I think they got a little too ahead of themselves. Started to rotate towards tower without having that A control, and it allowed Minions to quickly get in and get that slay. But once again, Oxygen, like, I think they deserved more than 13 seconds of ball time right there. And now Oxygen's trying to get back to that overshield and use it to muscle their way in the ball.
By the movement at a Triton here as he just tries to bob and weave back his scoreboard. Stay alive in the situation. Tony going to be the one to come out with the goodies in the end. The melee to do it. There goes Nemesis. That'll give his teammates the freedom to get the ball, and he's a great line of defense for it. Can he get there in time to actually help? You can see two dead already. Tony going to get back in the fight here. Drop the shields off another. The nade will do the trick to deal with him. Leave Piggy with the ball to rotate out.
And Tony was like, yeah, I got this one-on-one, and then player spawns up behind his fight, and he's like, man, now I can't really take this fight, and at least the grenade gets that kill to go. You can start to see Oxygen allocating their resources towards Ness, and great timing on their end, able to get to this ball in time, and Chris Common keeps it from getting played off the map as well, so still getting value. Oh my, Chris Common, get another one, at least a little exclamation point at the end, as that ball will get off map. But oh my, Chris Common was a one-man army at back tower.
Yeah, man, just brawling for sure. They're taking long range now with the snipe. I think he might have hit the body there. Smart idea to back off, reposition, get the teammate up to tower for a setup. Let them come to you. There's another body shot. Continues to tag him. Can he find a head? Not quite just yet. You can see Bohm and Nemesis split across the map. Can it make it tough to play off a Common if he does need that sight line? Hopefully he puts the snipe to good use here.
I think he heard the player come from under tower, but he just has not been able to find the spot, and finally able to get his BR trained, but that player just milking their life away, and it's going to pull Common out of the fight. Oh my god, Common has just been insane. Oh, yeah, with how Common's been playing, I thought that was 100% going to hit.
Would have been nasty. Not quite just yet, though. We'll see what he puts together, of course, with the ball just all tantalized and looking at just sitting in the corner. Need the slays first, though. Got Nemesis already sitting on the OS fighting the battle of his own. Common, can he fend them off, though? Oh, that was not expected, right? For this first second, it's as if he thought it was his teammate. Little late reaction. That's going to give the ball back to Minions for a temporary setup here.
I always think it's comical when you see both the players punching the air, like, looking at each other. There should be an easy play for Minions. So even though Oxygen get the overshield, get all the possession, like, it's not the end of the world for Minions. The only thing that's bad about this is that Common was immediately ready for the play ball situation. Although Minions were quick off the respawn, looks like they got themselves a dummy / overshield spawn, which is so interesting that they're able to immediately take advantage. I mean, Oxygen clearly wasn't ready for that. I mean, look at the value that they got. Not only did they let the overshield come all the way back to initially make them play ball. Then they were able to get the gifted spawn towards ball and prevent Auction from really getting any time off that replay. That's just a beautiful job by Minions.
Just nonstop efficient plays out of Minions at this point. You're starting to wonder if it's just a matter of when, not will, they win this first game here. Boom. Maybe he can turn things around. We need to see a big play, though. 2 already dead. The Heat Wave going to do the trick for a third as they just get melted across the map here. Tony Two Turnt doesn't even have a thing to do with himself at this point. Looks like he will clean up one as they desperately fly to the ball. Minions with utter domination in game 1 here. Complete opposite of what we would have predicted, Gary.
I mean, a complete opposite of what anyone would have predicted when you look at the score line. I mean, the slays are just about even in this game. I mean, there's not really that big of a lopside for one side or the other. Honestly, I just think kind of embarrassing for Oxygen in that situation. Get round 1, I think, was an embarrassment. I mean, with how well they're playing off the start, how they were getting kill after kill, there was no reason for Minions to be up 80-1 in that game. That's fundamental mistakes that are happening. That's a fundamental breakdown in that game.
I do think, especially off that opening where we had the A side hold, I think it led to like 30 points or so, and this immaculate life at a common where he lives and gets like 4 separate kills, and that whole scramble, the whole fiesta that took place on scoreboard led to 0 points, 0 seconds collected whatsoever for Oxygen. Eventually, it was just them dead, ball reset, and a pickup, back to a C hold, which turned into what, I think like another 40 seconds for him. So great efficiency out of Minions on the little objective openings they get. We saw a beautiful one towards the end of that game, like you said, with the OS play and the 2 kills they picked up. The survivability, too, around Pillar. I think it was Triton who was like, he was alone to try to pick up a trade. He couldn't even get that, right? Because that one player hid behind Pillar. They got the cross on him. That converted to like 30 ball seconds, right? So they're always finding quick, efficient conversions into play balls. Everything just, coming together. Makes you wonder how they're so efficient when forming so recently as well. Let's see if they can keep that energy in game 2.
A little bit, maybe run a couple of scrims, see what everyone's thoughts are coming into the next tournament. I don't know. I really like how that team was playing. I think there's just a ton of talent on this Minions roster. I mean, it has to be creeping in the back of their mind, how well they're playing with each other thus far. But we're going back to Catalyst once again, and this map is going to be so telling of whether Minions should be a long-term roster or not, how they're able to communicate, because communication is going to be key on this map. You cannot let players get away. You have to be able to finish your collapses. Coordination on a map like this is so important.
Completely agree. Just the open center forces a team rotation and team fights around the perimeter of the map until you just get that one player that finds the cross angle. Nebula going to find a player right beside him, as I say. That's a skewer kill from Bohm that got involved in that fight, though, just to clean him up. And here come the team rotation that we talked about. Oxygen moving together as a unit. They got one player left behind, a bit of a 3-1, right? One player sit and grapple with the opening crossfire to give, hopefully, Bohm an opening for a skewer, but not quite going to find it.
Oh, great job with the sword right there from Aperture, able to get up into this fight. And what you're going to notice a lot, Shy, is you're going to notice a lot of 3-man pushes on this map. You're going to see a lot of players punched up, but it's a dual-edged sword, right? Because if you're able to play aggressive and have timing and be forward, those 3-man pushes are so effective. But if you find yourself stalling and not able to push forward, it can be devastating because it leads to easy collapses and spawn manipulation.
And in these 3-man pushes, if you can get that little flank rotation like we almost witnessed there, right, you can come away with some mileage. It's just a high-risk, high-reward situation. Like Aperture getting shot from the backside, that could have been devastating. Man managed to survive, though. Still got the sword to work with. If he gets up close and personal, he's in good standing. But right now, the man's in trouble. If they can live, this is also crucial as well. OS about to pop. Aperture slicing and dicing. He'll drop with the sword. That's a big trade. At a moment like this, though, Piggy with a line of sight over the OS. How did they get to it?
The thing about this map is it's all about the CCs, the cheeky corners. So many places to hide on this map, and if you're able to manipulate them to your needs, man, it's going to be so impactful. Overshield goes over to minions, and this is going to be, I think, their opportunity to start running. Look at Tony. He's getting this long-range cross as his teammates start to push forward. It's very important for him to be involved in this fight and for the rest of his teams to try to pull away those players into his reticle, but they don't even need it.
Wow.
Look, this comes in. They're all fighting the collapse. It's 4 down for Oxygen, and now Tony's going to push back, and they're going to be able to manipulate the spawns. Look, all of them spawning in the open spot.
Damn.
The pings coming through. This is perfect for minions to take advantage.
A beautifully played team collapse out of minions that might turn into a snowball if they don't let him out of this pincer here. Tony, a little bait and switch. Nice pickup. He picks the plasma pistol back up, too. Hopefully he can put it to use here. Nebula, Piggy still up. Lost a teammate. He'll drop as well. Looks like Nebula dies here, too. So Oxygen doing everything they can just to fend off what could be horrible for them if they don't clean things up quickly.
And it's crazy how one little thing can change a play, right? That plasma grenade sitting between those two players changed the whole dynamic of that collapse, right? Because those two players not able to push in together and find the easy kill. Instead, it separated them out and allowed Oxygen some breathing room to find those 2 kills and to stop the coordinated push. But the job's not done yet. Oxygen have to find a way to execute on the back half of that play. You found yourself an opportunity to breathe, but you have to breathe life into the team, and thus far minions have just been punching forward, punching with all of their weight, finding opportunities to consistently get kills and to grow this lead.
Either breathe life or get out the defib at this rate, right? Because Oxygen's starting to fall behind a little bit. 6 kill deficit. Common looking for a pick. OS was picked up. Not quite sure who grabbed it. Might have been a member of minions here. You can see he's got one directly above. Common hears it. Going to go for the quick rotate. Can he get involved in time? His teammate does the trick instead. That opening important. Brings it down to 5. He's got the info he needs. They've got a skewer to work with as well. The entirety of the team holding hands here on Repulsor, something we do see on this map. How can they win this fight, though? Nice.
Wow. Great patience from Common right there. Well-placed nade. 2 players underneath him, and Common's going to be the most important player right here. Not necessarily his job to get these kills, but it's his job to get him weak and to open up his team an opportunity. He does get the trade on 1, but no one really there to take advantage, so I don't know if he necessarily needed to go down there and initiate a fight like that. I think maybe he could have played a little bit more to his time, let his team get back towards him and have a coordinated team push, but you'll take a 1-for-1 trade. It's still early enough in the game where it's not disastrous.
Can bring it back in any moment, assuming they don't get skewered. You don't want to get skewered by Piggy. You can tell he's looking for it. Does change objectives temporarily here. Gonna let the team fight Repulsor. Now it's 3-1 like we talked about, right? He's split off from the team. Bit of an anchor position here. Opportunity to provide crossfire or just miss the entire fight, right? It's not Nemesis. Cleans up everyone with the sword in that situation. That evens the odds a little bit, just down to 1. Gonna leave Piggy with team spawn nearby. Not quite able to put that stalker or skewer to use just yet.
I like this aggressive play with the skewer from Piggy. He really wants to get into this fight. Oh, the perfect counter, dude. They're just as satisfying about that. Seeing the sword lunge forward. He'll give that info to his team, and he'll keep the skewer in the pocket. Ooh, he's going to see that. No, I think he wants to give this one to his teammates, but just no one's there to grab the sword.
Got to be the hardest counter to the sword imaginable, right? Like, oh, we got another in the backside of a player. I think that was right before the OS activated, so it might still be sitting down on the bridge. You can see Boom going for it. Use of the grapple, very clean. Going to allow him to get away and put this one back into the game. We'll see what he does with it. Still in this. Still incredibly close. This is what you like to see in Game 2 here, Garrett.
Over shield is going to be such a difference maker for Oxygen. This is their opportunity to get back into this game. It's going to be up to Boom. Unfortunately, Boom not able to counter that sword, and Nebula uses that last charge in it to neutralize the overshield. And this is going to allow. Okay, you're out of ammo, brother. Dude, I wonder if there's like a glitch that lets you still get a one-shot kill.
Oh, or is it the observer telling us that he's out of ammo, but he's not?
No, there's no shot. I've never seen that observer glitch before, man.
Well, why would he have it out?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe there's a glitch, you know. Maybe Nebula's like 5-head. He knows something. Maybe he's like, maybe they're gonna come from underneath me, and I don't want to have anything blocking my line of sight.
No way. But then he's supposed to switch weapons when he sees it. Like,
imagine though.
Don't want the BR in my line of sight as I search for opponents, get info.
See, I'm kind of curious.
He's pulling it out. He must have ammo,
dude,
man.
He must have ammo, huh?
He knows something we don't. We'll see. Nebula, either way. Let's see if he just survives long enough to even do something here.
I just want to see him get a kill with a blank sword. I mean, that sounds kind of hype, not gonna lie. Yeah, he's got it out, bro. Yeah, it's
too real.
Oh, dude, that's so funny. Guess that's the closest you can get from throwing a punch in this game, right? An empty sword.
Does it do extra damage as a melee? Is there like some hidden detail that I'm not aware of? Either way, I'm sure we'll, or hopefully we'll find
check your
out.
CCs, bro. These cheeky corners, man.
Cheeky corners. But that's what you need to play off of in a moment like this with the OS spawning up. They're just going to force the situation down to center map. It's going to lead to some heavy crossfire here. A situation you don't want to miss. Uh-oh. Spot a skewer.
He still wants to push. I mean, look how Auction has just slowed this game down. And it's like, it's crazy to me that they slow the game down that much. And then the way that they open it up is by going for overshield while there's 4 players up. And I mean, that one mistake is, I mean, even if they got the overshield, it's going to come at a massive cost. And suddenly minions find themselves with a little bit of breathing room now. And well, now minions, they have 1 full sword and 1 empty sword. So we'll see if the empty one can do some work, because Nebula's back in the corner, baby.
Okay, 2 swords at the same time just sounds brutal. If they have to deal with this, you can see.
Dude, what if they just saw him just like standing with his
He
fist
has
up?
to have sword. He just has to. There's no, you don't play the corner like that if you don't have sword. He's gonna back out. The smart idea, right? To quickly rotate away from the situation, hold on to the 4-kill advantage. Objective of the rotation here, right? To get the reactionary, the peak advantage, first shot advantage. That's kind of what they're looking for. If they can get that little opening as they, you know, kind of cat and mouse them around the map, that's key.
I think he's out of sword. I don't think he has ammo left.
He must.
No, someone said in the chat that you.
Oh, he got the ammo. Wait,
he didn't. Yeah, he doesn't have the sword.
He's just melee.
Yeah.
Wait, how does he not know though?
No, I think he does know. Someone in the chat said you melee faster with the sword out, even if it's out of
quicker?
ammo. Yeah, so it's quicker. That's so interesting though, because there is that mechanic, right? I think when you have the pistol, you melee a little bit faster than the BR, so it makes sense that you could double melee faster with the sword. And on this map, it's quite effective, right? Because there's a lot of closed corners where, you know, you're gonna pop around, and if you have that advantage, like, you're gonna win the fight. So I really like that tech of keeping that sword out. But it just shows you how long he survived, because we've been talking about that for about 3 minutes now. Yo,
Tom said he's going kung fu.
yeah, I like it, bro. That is full.
Sprawling. I mean, it looked like it. If anything, it kind of looks like a brass knuckle when it's out of ammo. Either way, we're not going to get to see it again. Instead, we might be seeing the finale of this game in just a couple minutes here. 3-kill advantage, an OS on the body of Bohm, who's looking to even the odds of minions. They're unified.
Yeah, they have overshield, but I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to play much of an impact. He does get a couple players weak, but no finishes yet. Common's swinging in with the sword. Common's going to be able to finish at least 1. There we go. The collapse comes in. It's within 1. Make it even. 44 all as minions find themselves on respawn.
Not just a tie game, the timer ticking away as well. 1 minute left to work with as these teams have respected each other down to the wire at this point. Beautiful shots coming out of Tony to back out a player. He gets the info as well. You can tell he's feeling himself off the aggression here. They're starting to move. Will he get himself caught in the rotation for doing this, though? Split spawn out back base. Yeah, this is rough. He didn't see it. They're hiding.
Yo!
Tony. Oh, if he won that fight.
He did not expect it. The opposite side.
Oh. He didn't see it, but Piggy was there.
Dude, Piggy's got 16 kills. He was our guest, man. He's popping off this game. Double positive. As this game, oh my, it's rapidly approaching its end. I mean, Auction has to be weary of the clock at this point. At 24 seconds, you're going to have to make a play, and it might just be smart for minions just to completely counter-rotate. Don't even engage in the fight. They got 1. Yep. Yeah, wow. You only have 15 seconds to make a play. Make them desperate. Get them in a bad spot, and finish this fight. As you see Piggy, yeah, he's just rotating away. He's like, we don't need to take the fight. There's no reason for us to die.
Oh, Bohm got a kill. 1 kill behind as they chase him down in the final 2 seconds. Can they find something?
No.
They cannot. They will scamper away for the win. A 49-48 that goes down to 0. Garrett, I've not seen it yet in Catalyst, but that was a fun time.
Talk about a coward's victory, huh? Just running away, tail between the legs.
Run,
like,
bro, run.
That guy was grappling away. He's like, no. He barely got away. Yeah. The body block comes in and gets the kill. What a crazy finish to that game. Hey, Minions going up 2-0, though. A massive win right there. As I say some questionable practices from Oxygen in the tail end of that game. Like when the game really slowed down to like a literally a snail's pace, and how Oxygen pushed out to get that overshield when it was 4v4, I think was questionable at best and led to a 3-4 kill swing to Minions.
That's the biggest risk that they ended up playing for and failing on, I guess, unfortunately, right? They kind of they took the what is it, the gamble,
L?
I guess.
No.
Took the L. They took the gamble and then the L for the gamble. Yeah. It's like you roll the dice, basically, and yeah, just it didn't work out. You didn't get the snake eyes you're looking for. Either way, I don't know. They got killed instead. Now the issue is they're down by an 0-2 deficit, and it's a best-of-5 series. So they're facing tournament point. They got a 3-0 turn this around, sweep them, reverse sweep them to make this happen. And it's got to start in King of the Hill recharge. What do you think coming into this, Garrett?
Setups are going to be so important, right? So the way to think about it, I was talking to last Coach Callis from G2. The way he said to think about King of the Hill is that you want straight lines, which is a little counterintuitive of your other game types, right? So when you're on Hill 1, right, when that hill is in the middle, you want to have a player at A and C. You want to make a straight line throughout the map and spawn them on the opposite side. And you start to see that theory start to develop all the way through. So like when you get to Hill 2, you kind of want to have glass, C plat, have the straight line, and be able to force far away spawns where they're going to have to trek throughout the map. I'm very curious as to what the setups are. I think one thing I've seen a lot of mistakes happen on recharge is like there's so much emphasis put on bat ledge when we're talking about strongholds, oddball
every
on this map.
Type. Yeah,
and it's kind of a spot where you don't really want to hang out too often, but some teams will take that spot and try to force like a C plat spawn here and have their bat ledge back player get into that angle. Me, I prefer taking A and C, forcing them to have to fight basically through the map instead of having quick access to the hill.
Right. I love that idea. You spawn up in attic, you got no immediate angle on hill, you can lob a couple of nades, but basically you're just praying that you're going to do the damage to get the kill. You're forced to come forward. We'll see what they do with it. Of course, Nebula's going to lose a teammate here. He'll trade out one with a little pancake, almost 2. Would have been nice. Thankfully, Piggy's there to pick up on the damage. That leaves Common with a decision to make. And that decision is to not go center map. He does not have the resources.
Up high, Common has a great vantage here, but at the same time, I mean, he has this vantage from tower, but Hill's in the hands of Minions, and you can see Oxygen put all their numbers into Turbine to try to break through to glass. They want to take the fight towards batteries, and not working out for them as first hill looks as if it's going to be moving into the hands of Minions. A very interesting opening hill as we're getting set up for next. Now, Oxygen did find 2 immediate kills, and this is what I call a money hill in this game. If you're able to get set up on this hill, it can feel impossible to break.
That was almost so nasty out of Tony. The double back, and then he turns around, hits the curb slide, repulse into the guy. What a way to get aggressive there. Didn't quite work out, but like you said, the money hill that Oxygen are looking to take advantage of, currently just about halfway capped. Boom, bobbing and weaving around the box to pick up a kill in the Nebula. Nice display of efforts here, not enough to stay alive the whole time. And finally, Minion's going to get their feet wet in this hill, but for how long?
Those nades doing a great job of zoning out that hill, buying some space, but look at that reach out from Piggy X, able to take one and make another one shot. That leads to Aperture get into this hill while camouflaging. This is where it gets dangerous from Oxygen. They don't have spacing on the map. They're going to have to fight through into this hill, and with the Aperture with camo just able to sort around, he could find himself a couple easy picks. Ooh, yeah, getting me a little nervous.
the middle of the action of Esports. Dude, I'm just lost in the center of this, Garrett. We missed it. It froze, and they continued to play. This is still grand finals. You can see it's a dangerously close grand finals at that. But we're continuing with this, of course, Esports Arena final, potentially final match of the day.
Yeah, Minions trying to get the job done right here, and looks as though we're seeing a lot of back and forth thus far throughout the game, right? It's been interesting. I'm really curious as to what we lost. Like that second hill, I think that second hill had to have gone to Minions for them to be in the spot that they're at now. And I think that will be the biggest difference maker in the game. Auction not being able to capitalize on that hill could come to cost them greatly as Camo goes into the hands of Aperture, and Minions looking to be in a prime spot to finish this game.
This might be it right here. We talked about the setup. They need A and C spawners out in gold side. They have limited options. Aperture just looking for easy picks. There goes Nemesis. Still got the shock to work with. They're going to dive down to the hill. This is now a desperate attempt just to get time here, and Aperture can prey on it. And that's exactly what he'll do. Perfect kill to open it. Shot in the long haul. Gonna dip back into bottom mid. They can play it patiently. Auction, not really an opportunity, but to fly.
Man, Aperture's just playing with his food right there. That shock rifle being so deadly, especially when you have the camouflage to pair with it. This is a big kill for Nebula. He's able to get the assist. Tony with the double. They can see Auction having to fight through batteries to get to this hill. Desperation mode. But when you're desperate, that's when the dog in you comes out, able to bark themselves to a double. But Aperture, last line of defense. Boom gets the kill. And finally, Auction able to get this hill, but they just don't have spacing on the map yet. Still plenty of opportunity for Minions.
They don't just need the hill, they got to flip the spawns. They're getting shot from A and C simultaneously, making things difficult. Somehow they're still keeping it close. Aperture, he's going to dive in the hill. Last couple seconds to close this one out. It's going to be a brawl out center. There goes Triton. Is this enough to close it? Can somebody get their foot in the hill? They'll get a kill. Auction, you're going to step in it. Bohm needs to live. He'll drop a couple nades just to delay the situation. Grapples into the hill just to try to keep it in play. I don't know if it's enough, though. Nebula will close it with team, and Minions will shut them down in a 3-0. Could not see the comeback at an Auction today.
Piggy got 16, but I think Tony probably won the fantasy today. I think Tony played really well. I'm not sure who won fantasy, but it's a 3-0 win for Minions. I honestly did not expect that at all, Shyway. I did not expect a 3-0 whatsoever.
I didn't either, and it's making me wonder what we'll see from these boys in the future, whether or not they're going to stick together. Of course, like we had kind of mentioned coming into this, I think ESA Blue and Red, the victims to this too, just the roster mania period we've been experiencing. Teams starting to lock in. We're starting to see these final rosters forming. This one is a wild card of a team at the moment, and if they stick together, maybe the sky's the limit. All we can say for now, at the very least, is wonderful performance out of these boys. A well-deserved win, and of course, $500 richer as well.
Hey, $500 for a little night of Halo, a little 2 3-0s for $500. I love it, man. Minions, this is a roster that I think they should be looking at each other for a long-term relationship. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's time to take that conversation, take it to the next step. You guys are starting to apartment hunt with each other. It's time to go just a little bit further in this relationship, in my opinion. Now, some people like to take it slow, so no doubt for them. We'll see what this Minions roster decides to do.
Completely agree. The sky's the limit. Hopefully they stick together. Hopefully we see more of them. Of course, ESA, it's an every week gig. Exhibition is every single Friday. These are fun little shows. Opportunity to, single elim your way through the bracket, earn $500, and, congrats, I guess, once again to Minions for pulling it out. Let's send it back to Tom to close the show for today.
Yeah, I don't know, Tools. I think they take that $500. They all go to Vegas and get married after that one, because the honeymoon phase is over. Actually, the honeymoon starts right after the marriage, right? So, really nice job from Minions pulling through that one. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of technical difficulties in Game 3, so we weren't able to see everything. But really, again, another 2-0. That Game 2 becomes extremely, extremely close. And you see in Halo Infinite how close these Slayer games go, but you also see how important it is to try to even that series, because winning 3 games in a row, the other team's confidence, the other team's callouts really starts to flow. But it was a really great job from Minions. Realistically, they came through and did a great job in game number 1. If you guys are just joining us, We had live fire ball, one of my favorite game types, and that goes to show the many different kind of ways that they could go and win. So if you're going to get some scrappy time like they did in the beginning of round number 1, they're up, like 20 seconds to 0 at that point, even though they were getting outslayed. Once they did get their setup, they were able to hold the ball there, but they did a lot of the little things like playing the ball over towards the green side on the B side, making sure that they set up for the next round of the ball too. A lot of different, situations where they made rotations that Oxygen wasn't expecting, kind of when Nemesis had the heat wave and was set up waiting for the overshield, maybe anticipating one player to go over there and he could pick them off and then they would get control. Then, that was just a really smart move from the minions. They all worked together, and it was like they've been playing and planned this out for the entirety of Halo Infinite. So just props to them for really putting it together for being a team for such a short amount of time. And you wonder, could Oxygen maybe have rotated the ball back on over towards the overshield? It seemed like they were kind of playing a little bit predictable, but again, the level of Halo that we saw today, there's a reason why these teams made it to the grand finals. There's a reason why they're playing at such a high level. Also, shout out to Common for playing on his birthday. Happy birthday to Common. I think that's super dope. But that's it for today and all of Halo's action that we have. We also have in mind, keep in mind, Apex Legends that we're going to be having next week too, so make sure that you guys tune in for that. But we have Halo going on Mondays and Fridays. I believe the other game that we have is Guilty Gear as well. So there's a lot of great Series E action, and if you guys ever want to get involved in that, make sure that you follow Esports Arena on Twitter. But that's it for today's show. Everyone have a great rest of your weekend.